Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside Jimmy John's Field for another edition of baseball on the USPBL YouTube channel. Tonight, the Utica Unicorns will take on the Westside Woolly Mammoths on 70s night here at the ballpark. Hi, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. My name is Leo Ortel, alongside my broadcast partner, Rich Borland, to bring you the call on this beautiful Saturday night for baseball. Last night, it was Eastside against Westside as Dugan Darnell of the Hoppers made his USPBL debut on the mound against Matt Cronin, the ace of the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Darnell of the Hoppers threw 4 scoreless innings for Eastside, but Cronin went the distance with 7 innings of one-run ball that included 7 strikeouts. Offensively, Javon Shelby hit his league-leading 8th home run of the season, a 3-run shot, and he now has 5 home runs and 14 RBIs over his last 7 games. Also, Sonny Cortez and Jake Polshin continued their success at the plate, putting up multi-hit games to help the Mammoths beat the Hoppers by a final in that game 4-1. Tonight, manager Brian Kluppe gives the start to Ben McKendall for the 8th time this season. McKendall currently leads the league with a 1.93 ERA and owns a 4-1 record over 37 1/3 innings of play. Hopefully for Westside's sake, the Los Angeles, California native and product out of Bellevue can tally another quality start. McKendall's last start on June 28th was the only time so far this season where he didn't put up a quality start, as he lasted just 3 1/3 innings against Eastside, so he'll look for a better outing this evening. For Utica, it will be Ty Hensley also making his 8th start of the season. The former first-round draft pick in the 2012 MLB draft has had a tough season in the USPBL, but 2 of his best starts of the season came against Westside pretty recently, and Westside owns the best offense in the league. Hensley threw 71 pitches in his last start on July 26th, but lasted just 2 2/3 innings, so he will look to move past that start and seek his first USPBL win on the bump. We have already mentioned the league-leading offense for Westside, who now lead the league with a 20-16 record. With Sonny Cortez, Will Johnson, Jake Polshin, and Ethan Whisker scattered throughout their lineup, Westside has 4 players hitting above 300. On the other end of it, Utica's lineup has struggled lately, which is a big reason why they have moved from first place all the way down to 3rd. Utica comes in to this ball game with an 18-17 record, but has recently added 2 bats to their lineup, Jack Dennis, who will be starting at first base, and Kyle Orloff, who will be starting in left field. And now I'm going to send it over to Rich. Rich, what else can we expect in tonight's matchup?
Yeah, you know what, Leo? Really excited for this one because of a couple of different things. Obviously, Westside playing the best baseball out of anybody. They have the best lineup, bar none, and then also, of course, Ben McKendall, the best pitcher in the league that's left, if you will, that has been picked up by an affiliated team. We just saw 2 pitchers go yesterday. Of course, Noah Goetzies with the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and Kyle Allegas with the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, both of them getting picked up by the Colorado Rockies organization last night. First time we've ever had 2 players get picked up in one full swoop of an evening. So some fans in attendance yesterday really had a show put on for them, outside of course, what Javon Shelby had provided. But yeah, it's crazy what he's been able to do now in the top 3 in the league in slugging. Of course, now leading the league with those 8 home runs. But overall, I'm going to talk a little bit about Ty Hensley, who we obviously understand his overall numbers, a 7.39 ERA through 10 total games, 7 of them being starts. He's got the 10th most innings pitched this year out of any pitcher, and he's also got top 3 amount of strikeouts with 41, but we understand that he's also got top 3 in the league with 28 walks, and clearly with an 0-3 record with those 35 1/3 innings pitched and allowed 32 hits and 29 earned runs. The positive note for Ty Hensley, obviously first-round draft pick, and he's battled through all those injuries, 3 different hip surgeries and 2 different Tommy John surgeries. But the positive notes here for Ty is his last 2 outings against Westside have been very good. And the even better fact of it is that they were in the span of 4 different days. He threw 208 pitches in between the start on July the 14th and July the 18th. On the 14th against Westside, he went 5 2/3, gave up just 1 earned run on 4 hits. He did throw 6 walks, but he was able to spread them enough throughout the game, and he got the no decision in that affair. And then in his last outing against Westside on the 18th of July was arguably his best start of the year. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, just 2 hits, just 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts, again, on 104 pitches. So the last outing against Westside, his best of the year, so hopefully he can pick up on that because he's going to need it going up against the guy in Ben McKendall who has been lights out against everybody this year. He's one of 4 pitchers in the league with 4 wins on the season, but yes, that 1.93 ERA, best in the league, and he's also, of course, got 31 strikeouts to just 12 walks with the 5th best whip in the league, and batters hitting just .255 against him. I'm really excited. As Ben McKendall, he's got a 4-seam fastball 68% of the time, a changeup 27% of the time, a slider 11%, and then he occasionally will bring in the 2-seam. On the other end for Hensley, he's got 3 different fastballs. A 4-seam he throws 40%, the 2-seam he throws 28%, the cutter that he throws 15%, and the curveball that he throws at 12% of the time. Now, for the offense going up against these guys tonight, we'll start, of course, with Utica. Jimmy Latona, the catcher, leading off here for Skip Essien. Jack Dennis, the newcomer, joining us here as he is batting second, playing, of course, at the first base position out of Tiffin University. Eric Jones, the third baseman, his numbers and accolades, they've been tremendous this year. He leads a lot of offensive categories at third base tonight, batting third. Ashton Bardzell in right field, batting cleanup. Dan Elliott in center field this evening, batting fifth. Brian Benz, another newcomer, he's a DH this evening, batting sixth. Kyle Orloff, another new face here in the USPBL, joins the Utica Unicorns as he's coming to us from the University of Indianapolis. Kyle Bonneke, the second baseman, he is, of course, batting eighth. And then Adrian Guzman, his middle infield partner, batting ninth. Quickly, the offense for Westside as we're getting ready for the national anthem. Sonny Cortez at second base, moving from the outfield to the infield with some new coming addition, of course, with Drew Kitson back in their lineup after missing a long time with that broken clavicle. Ryan Dobson, the shortstop, he's batting second. Will Johnson, the left fielder, batting third. Jake Polshin at first base tonight. He's, of course, in the cleanup spot. Dan Williams, the former Unicorn, as the DH, time and time again here with Westside, as he is batting fifth. Ethan Whisker, the right fielder, batting sixth. The man of the hour for Westside, Javon Shelby, at the third base tonight, batting seventh. Jackson Smith getting the start as the catcher this evening in place of Barbie, the only batter in this lineup that was not there yesterday. And then, of course, again, Drew Kitson in center field, batting ninth here for Westside, looking to get their 5th straight win and move to 21-16 on the season, 7-3 in their last 10. We'll head down to the field for the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, and then we'll bring it back up to the booth for first pitch here on 70s night at Jimmy John's Field. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise, remove your hats. Veterans and active military may keep your hats on while rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, sponsored by the Detroit Medical Center DMC and performed tonight by Danette Hanna from Ascension.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
All right, anthem all said and done. Color guard off the field. That means it is officially time for baseball here on this gorgeous Saturday night in Utica, Michigan at Jimmy John's Field. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you once again. Here is the 18-17 Utica Unicorns taking on the first place Westside Willie Mammoths, sitting at 20-16 coming into play tonight. Winners of their last 4 and winners of 7 of their last 10, and they got the best arm in the league on the mound tonight here for them. Ben McKendall, of course, coming to us all the way from Los Angeles, California, the former Belleville University product, and of course spent also some time in both the American Association, the Frontier League, and recently coming to us from the Pecos League with the Roswell Invaders. Of course, coming to us with the well-known knowledge there, Brian Kluppe, manager of the Bakersfield Train Robbers, the winners of the Pecos League, and you know, he probably faced Ben McKendall a handful of times and said, hey, you know what, I think I want to bring this guy along. And clearly through the first 7 starts on the season, a 1.93 ERA, Brian Kluppe with a great scouting report bringing this guy on for the season here for Westside.
Clearly a ton of experience in minor league baseball, obviously still trying to make it up to that affiliated level, but also great numbers at Bellevue University over his 2 years there. 211 and 1/3 innings pitched there, a 2.17 ERA along with 225 strikeouts to 46 walks, numbers that you really can't beat. We should be in for a great starting pitching matchup as he's matched up against the Utica Unicorns offense and dueling against Ty Hensley, the former first-round draft pick of the Yankees back in 2012. I'm definitely excited for this one.
Yeah, should be a great game here tonight at Jimmy John's Field on this 70s night at Jimmy John's Field. And before we get into the action, Leo, we do have a second to spare.
That's right.
We see 18 names across these 2 lineups. Do me a favor, take a pick on either side. I'll take one from the other team and see who fares well in our Pick the Stick here on this Saturday night.
Lately, I've liked what I've seen from Ashton Barzell. He's only played in 5 games for the Unicorns, but he had his first home run earlier in the week. He's batting .381 with 1 home run and 5 RBIs so far, so the cleanup hitter for the Unicorns is my pick. All
right, you're going to go with Barzell. I'll look towards the top of the lineup for Westside. I'm not going to go with Cortez at the top. I'll go with Dobson in the 2-hole. He's been fairly consistent, now 3rd in the league with those 41 hits. First pitch coming to you. It misses the zone outside. First pitch at 7:05 p.m. and 85 degrees. Couldn't ask for a better night here at Jimmy John's Field as McKendall starts Latona off with a ball, and then on the 1-0, Latona free swinging, fouls off the pitch, evens the count up. And, man, Jimmy Latona, what can we not say about this young man? He's been a great fit for Utica this year. His batting average does sit just under .270 coming into play today as he looks at ball 2, but the accolades across the board, very, very good stuff from the former Mercyhurst alum, as second in the league with those 7 home runs, tied for 4th with 23 runs scored. Looks at the 2-1 pitch right down Broadway. Not sure where Latona was looking at that. Good hitters count, ready to go for it, just could not pull the trigger. But a top 7 on-base percentage at .419, a top 6 slugging percentage at .519, and a top 6 OPS at .938. And he's recently been moved to the top of the lineup just to try and get as many physical at-bats as they can, as he's one of their best hitters without a doubt, but won't get the job done to start the night. Flies out over there to Ethan Whisker in the sun, battling it out there as the Clio, Michigan native, but he makes the catch running to his left into the corner. 1 up, 1 down for Ben McKendall.
Ben McKendall so far looking strong, keeps it pretty simple out there, does work from the windup, but only works with 3 pitches, and he uses those to his advantage. The 4-seam fastball, the changeup, and slider, mainly going with that 4-seam and changeup combo, but it really seems to work for him.
So next batter up, Jack Dennis. Mentioned he comes to us from Tiffin University, and the left-handed hitter, right-handed throwing South Elgin, Illinois native takes a cut on the 1-0 pitch, evens it up just as Latona did to start this game. But for Jack Dennis, through the 4 seasons with Tiffin from 2015 through 2019, 150 games, 478 at-bats, 140 hits, a .293 batting average. Not bad for a college tenure as he swings through the 1-1 opportunity. But overall, 77 runs scored. Like I said, 140 hits, 26 doubles, 9 home runs, 84 RBIs. Did have 6 more strikeouts than walks over his college career. Not a guy who steals a lot of bases, just 4 in total in that time span. But with an opportunity, here for Utica, put up in the 2 spot. Looks as if the staff there believe that he's got some ability to bat in a spot that you look to have a lot of talent and a lot of results, and he's got a good battle going here, 5 pitches through the first try.
It's definitely nice to have a lefty at the top of this lineup. Jimmy Latona, of course, the right-hander leading off. And something interesting to take note on with McKendall, he does develop a very quick pace out there. So he's only working with 3 pitches, but that kind of allows him to get in a really good groove, and that pace can be deadly, and that's how he's, in part, been able to be so effective.
Again, that 1.93 ERA through 7 starts, the best ERA in the league as this 2-2 pitch taken to the opposite field. That's what you want to do with it. Dennis with a couple of foul balls battling against McKendall, forcing him to throw more pitches than he would like to.
A little bit late on these fastballs. McKendall's not one of the harder throwers in this league. Usually the fastball tops out at 90, but we have seen 91 from him already on the gun, so that was one of his fastest fastballs that he's thrown this season.
Pitch number 8 in the at-bat, advantage McKendall. It took him a long time, but he ends up getting the result that he wants. Dennis's debut begins with a swing and miss strikeout, but hey, you know what? Take the good with the bad. You had a long at-bat, you battled, forced him to throw a lot of pitches for a guy who's used to throwing, if not single-digit amount of pitches in an inning, darn close to it, as Eric Jones, talk about a tough out, arguably one of the best hitters in the league at the moment. Now, for Eric Jones, he's played in total just the 12 games, but you need just a minimum of 30 at-bats to have your stats go towards the league leaders. And at the moment, Eric Jones at the top of many. First in the league with a 449 average through those first 12 games. Looks at a couple of pitches. Both of them have missed, so a good hitter's count. The 449 batting average, good for first in the league. A 491 on base percentage, that is second overall. 653 slugging percentage, of course, first in the league, and then a 1.144 OPS through those first 12 games, coming off of a great outing on Wednesday. That was against Birmingham Bloomfield in that 6-4 win, as he looks at the 2-0 fastball for called strike 1. Jones went 3 for 5, a double, 2 singles, scored once and drove in 2. Clearly a big-time difference maker put in the 3 spot in this lineup, as he's worked a good count here, 3-1. You got to be careful if you're McKendall. Don't want to miss with a pitch over the heart of the plate. Jones with those 2 home runs already through the 12 starts.
He was the best hitter on Wednesday against Birmingham Bloomfield. A 6-4 win for Utica.
So that one lined over the head of Sonny Cortez. He doesn't have a lot of height to his game, but he got up there, went as far as he could have, and that'll be the first knock of the game allowed, as McKendall will have to work with a base runner on with 2 outs, and again another tough out, and your pick to stick, Ashton Bardzell.
Yeah, Bardzell's had good success at the plate this year, like we mentioned, 381, 1 home run, along with 5 RBIs through 5 games, proving to be pretty good in this cleanup spot for Utica, whose offense has really struggled lately, come in 3rd in the league with their 247 average, still at the top of the league with 30 home runs, but Westside and Birmingham Bloomfield both starting to pick up the home run numbers, and that's the first pitch strike that we've seen McKendall thrown, and now the 4th batter.
Good pick up there, Leo. That's big-time stuff. Bardzell, with an opportunity, had McKendall looked as if he had Eric Jones by a finger, but according to our first base umpire, Matt Cohen, he had another angle at it, and he's in the right spot. It was a bang-bang play over there, but looks as if Jones did, in fact, just get that hand in. It's the 0-1 to Bardzell. Ground ball chopped up the middle, little in-between hop for Dobson, but a quick transition, the little underhand toss to his middle infielder Cortez. A 6-4 putout retires Jones at the second base bag, and that'll do it. They get a single, but nothing more in the first. We head to the home half. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We go to the home half of the first inning as the former first-round draft pick of the New York Yankees back in 2012, Ty Hensley, standing on the bump. This is start number 8 on the year, overall 11th appearance, as Sonny Cortez looks at a pair of pitches outside of the strike zone to start the evening, and we're hoping that Ty Hensley has a good start. He's had 2 very good outings this year out of his 7 starts, but overall, that 7.39 ERA, something that he obviously wants to get down, won't be doing it here. 2-0 pitch taken for a ride into left center field. Sonny Cortez, as he's thinking about 3, and in fact, he's going to get in there, and he is going to slide in headfirst safely. He could have walked in there standing up with the speed that he's got, but how about the night started for Westside offensively? Mentioned they're looking for their 5th straight victory, and Sonny Cortez gets them off on the right foot, a guy who's been tremendous at the top of this order all season long.
Now that's the way to do it. Speed kills. 2nd triple of the season for Cortez. There's a reason he's batting in the leadoff spot. When he's leading off a game or an inning, he's hitting .452, so some great numbers for Cortez. You combine Cortez's speed with the speed of Dobson in this 2 spot. These guys top 2 in the league in stolen bases, is Dobson's 1st and Cortez's 2nd. Big part of this order.
This ground ball hit to the left side as the ball's thrown over the head, but a nice heads-up play there from Jack Dennis in his debut. Jumps off the first base bag to keep the baseball in his vicinity, and he ends up making the tag with the leather to get Dobson, who had plenty of speed going down that line. The run does come in to score, so Dobson does get the RBI credit. And in the end, Eric Jones was playing a little bit behind the baseline, couldn't really come home with it. Cortez got a good jump off the bat, came in to score the first run of the ball game as Dobson gets the RBI on the ground out, but Westside starts the night off exactly how they imagined. Will Johnson now standing in, looks at called strike 1, according to our home plate umpire, Sean Howard, here tonight.
Johnson hitting .306, couple of home runs, 11 RBIs, as well as the .400 on-base percentage. One of 4 guys, like we mentioned in this lineup, hitting above .300, and 4 out of the first 6 are the guys hitting above .300.
And I'll tell you what, Leo, in terms of triples, taking a look at the overall statistics, each team coming into play tonight only with 2 triples on the season.
Wow.
Now, Jimmy John's Field, of course, doesn't have a lot of giant gap space in the outfield, if you will. How about that? Jack Dennis showing off the defense early on in his debut, saves his teammate Eric Jones for out number 1, and with all that room in the foul territory, obviously something he's not used to, he ends up getting a little timid, if you will, going from the grass to the dirt right in front of the dugout, but he ends up coming up with the catch, something that might not look like an amazing feat there to the naked eye, but for those that are very familiar with Jimmy John's Field, obviously that's a tougher play than it looked, and it's a big-time first inning for Jack Dennis defensively, trying to help out his starter, Ty Hensley, who's looking good outside of the give-up on the triple to Cortez. And here comes Jake Pulshin. What a force to be reckoned with, the muscle on this young man. He's been tremendous all season for Westside. Top 4 batting average at .315, a top 3 on-base percentage at .454, and he's top 8 in the league with an .877 OPS. As he looks at called strike 1, evens the count up at 1-1, but Pulshin, the second best batting average on the team behind Cortez. He's got 35 hits in 32 starts, 3 doubles, 3 home runs, 24 walks as well. That's also second on the team behind Sonny, as the 1-1 turns into the 2-1. Good hitters count coming up here for the first baseman.
Hensley went fastball in the strike zone, then breaking ball there. We don't see him throw a whole lot of breaking balls. The curveball used just 10% of the time, the changeup just 4%.
As this outside pitch at 91, a paint job there from Hensley, one of the best pitches we've seen from him tonight. And you get a little help there also from Latona behind the dish as he makes the grab, as he hones that one in. Hensley looking for strikeout number 1 of the night and trying to retire 3 straight after the leadoff triple to Cortez. Doesn't get it done on the 2-2. Fastball nowhere close. Defensively for Utica, Kyle Orloff, the newcomer out of Indianapolis University, out there in left. Dan Elliott in center. Ashton Bardzell in right. Eric Jones at the hot corner. Adrian Guzman, Kyle Bonneke up the middle. And, of course, Dennis over there at first base. And Latona, the catcher, as this one an easy chop over there to Adrian Guzman. 6-3 putout is recorded. Not a bad inning for the Corns. Sonny Cortez, though, gets things going with the leadoff triple and scores our first run of the game. We head to the second, 1-0 Westside. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We go into the second inning. Ben McKendall out there for another inning of work. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. 21 pitches it took for McKendall to get through the 4 batters in inning number 1. It was Jack Dennis, the newcomer. He starts off his USPBL debut with a strikeout, but he took 8 pitches in the battle and had 2 good defensive plays in inning number 1. Dan Elliott, meanwhile, on the second pitch of the at-bat, takes a ball to the opposite field, which is something that we rarely see from him, but he puts one down the line, but it's Will Johnson out there and left to corral it. 1 up, 1 down for McKendall. Just the single from Eric Jones at the moment, the only blemish on the night for him, is Brian Benz, supporting that tremendous mustache, steps up to the plate. He was batting in the 7th spot back on Wednesday. Did go 0 for 3, but walked and scored a run as he looks at ball 1 to begin his at-bat here tonight.
And Benz out of the University of the Cumberlands. Put up some big power numbers there. Was there for just 2 years, but broke the team record for home runs over those 2 years. And as we take a look at his senior stats, his senior year, 18 home runs along with 43 RBIs and a .311 average. Some really good numbers at the University of Cumberlands down in Kentucky.
As this off-speed pitch looked to be that slider that McKendall goes to 11% of the time. It's low and away. You saw Benz go after it on the 1-0. Couldn't hold back. He went through with the swing. Did not this time around. He's ahead 2-1, and there again. That off-speed pitch that McKendall's trying to get Benz to chase after, but he can't do so on the last 2 tries as Sean Howard behind home plate as his partner Matt Cowan down the line. But in the end, Benz does hold back. He gets a good hitter's count. You talked about a lot of home runs in the college tenure. It's a great count to do it here, but a pink job on the outside part of the plate for McKendall, works it back full.
And maybe a little bit higher than he would have liked it, but finds that outer half up in the zone. Pretty tough pitch to hit if you're not looking for it.
Brian Benz ends up putting his feet at the last second kind of in a closed stance. Not sure if you noticed that or not, Leo, but on that 3-2, he kind of moved that front foot forward.
Interesting.
And he's trying to maybe take the ball the other way, down with 2 strikes as he fouls off the last pitch. So see if he does it here again, and he does. Kind of puts that back foot more left He's really closed in on him. But another outside pitch there from McKendall and gets the ring up from Sean Howard behind home plate. It's a big-time pitch in a big-time situation. This season, McKendall on 3-2 counts. Count it, 21 strikes to just 5 balls. Wow. But even better, hitters are now 1 of just 16 on the full count against Ben McKendall.
And that just adds to why his numbers are so good. Opponents hitting just .255 against him, a 1.93 ERA. And it's those counts, those type of counts, 3-2. If you can beat hitters in those counts, that's how you can be successful.
And meanwhile, here comes Kyle Orloff, newcomer with these Utica Unicorns, getting the start tonight. Taking a quick look, Orloff has just joined us, and look at that, a broken bat, but he puts it down the line for a base knock second. 2-out single of the night allowed by McKendall as he is trying desperately to get through these innings as quick as possible. But yes, first pro hit there for Kyle Orloff, and I was just about to mention coming to us from Cincinnati, Ohio, and again they're from Indianapolis University, the D2 school, had a .342 batting average as a senior through 50 games in 2019, had 68 hits, 43 RBIs, a .404 on base percentage, and a .573 slugging percentage, had a .321 batting average through the 4 years in his time there at Indianapolis University. Here comes Kyle Bonneke, looks at called strike one to begin his first at-bat of the night. Wednesday in the contest against the Beavers in that 6-4 win. Bonneke 1 for 3 with a single, a walk, and a run scored. As he's ready here for the 0-1, McKendall delivers. Changeup in there at 82 miles an hour. He throws that pitch 27% of the time. And you saw Bonneke unable to make good contact on it. He's quickly down 0-2.
And Boneke's not a guy that's going to strike out a whole lot, but down 0-2 here. Could be a possible strikeout situation. McKendall looking for that third, but Bonneke through 115 at-bats has just 13 strikeouts.
The 0-2. And there it is, the swing and the miss on the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Strikeout number 2 of the inning, 3 overall for the right-hander McKendall. We go to the home half of the second. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Into the home half of the second we go here on the USPBL YouTube channel. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. Just 13 pitches for Ty Hensley in inning number 1. Did allow the leadoff triple from Cortez, and then he came in to score on the ground out from Dobson. But he got 2 putouts there from the shortstop Guzman, a pop out and then a ground out that took care of business in inning number 1. Dan Williams fouls off the first try of the night for him and then looks at ball 1 here as Ty Hensley looking sharp through the first inning. outside of the one blemish there off of Cortez, and that's what happens when you get behind in the count. On that triple to start the night offensively for Westside, it was a 2-0 count that Cortez had, and as the 1-1 misses, Williams now ahead to start this inning at the 2-1 count.
Now the batting average for Williams since moving over to Westside has dipped, but he has 3 of his 4 home runs this season in a Westside uniform.
The 2-1. This one lined into right field over the head of Bonneke, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is just some good piece of hitting right there. Dan Williams, that pitch in on the hands of the lefty, and he takes it to the right side. He pulls that one, even though he got jammed a little bit. And honestly, Leo, if he got the good part of the bat on it, it might have been a line out to right field. So
could have been.
You will take that if you're Dan Williams against your former team.
And not bad contact there. Whisker coming off a tough night last night against the Hoppers with a lot of strikeouts. Definitely been a positive spot in this order. After a tough start to the season, he's had some good success at the plate. 311 with 5 home runs and 27 RBIs. Of course, the co-USPBL Player of the Year last year. He was the best hitter in the league. He didn't start off the season how he wanted, but he's looking like the Ethan Whisker that we saw last year.
Yeah, he's got a lot of accolades at the moment as he's ready for the 1-0 from Hensley. Fastball at 91 taken for a ride, but it's well foul down into that right field patio area. Whisker tied for 6th in the league with 38 hits coming into play tonight. He's also tied for 6th with 22 runs scored on the year, tied with Elliott of Utica. 2nd, though, in the league with 27 RBIs. Mentioned that 311 batting average. That's good for 6th in the league. He's got a top 8 slugging percentage, a top 10 on-base percentage, and a top 9 OPS. As for the 2nd consecutive pitch, this one taken for a ride, but again, well foul out there to our Metro Detroit Chevy dealers right field family patio.
Some late swings early on against Hensley. He's got one of the best fastballs in the league. It will top out at about 95 miles an hour, but so far in this start, we've seen it around 90 to 92. But the command definitely looking better than some of the starts we've seen him in recently.
As the breaking ball looked real good to the naked eye, but this one you could tell just missed upstairs a little bit. If he had everything working on that pitch, just it was a little bit late, and Whisker was fooled on it, but he ends up allowing it to pass, as I'd expect to look for a fastball here if I'm number 12. And there it is again at 91, but this one misses low and away. So Whisker works his way back into the count. He's now ahead. Runner on first over there is Dan Williams. He's not going to be going anywhere. And Whisker, of course, is your beer batter of the game. If you're listening up in the suites or down in the bathrooms, Whisker gets a knock, just $5 craft beers down that third base concourse area. And the payoff pitch, this one, fly ball, shallow. Who's it going to be, Guzman or Orloff? It looks as if it is, in fact, the left fielder, Orloff, underneath it and ranges down to make the catch for out number 1, and that will bring up Javon Shelby. What can we not say about this young man? Now the league leader with those 8 home runs. Had the home run last night in that 4-1 victory, and it was the 3-run variety, and in the end was your difference maker.
Now, he's only hitting .233, but 8 home runs good for the league lead now. He's got 23 RBIs on the season, but his last 7 games, 5 home runs and 14 RBIs. Those are numbers that you really just cannot beat. Of course, the player of the week a couple weeks ago, too. And a guy that really could be in the 5 or 6 spot, but in the 7 spot just because of how good this Westside lineup is.
And without a doubt, they are deep through and through between Cortez, Dobson, Johnson, Pulsion, Williams, Whisker, Shelby.
Absolutely.
And then you get Drew Kitson back on top of all of that.
He was leading off towards the beginning of the season. Now he's in the 9 spot. I mean, there's not one hitter in this lineup that you're going up there thinking this is an easy out. You got to approach every hitter like they're dangerous because they are.
Yeah, I mean, even Jackson Smith, he's technically your backup catcher for Jake Barbie, who got this start last night. But, I mean, Jackson Smith, he's an aggressive hitter, and he is somebody who's very versatile, can play any position. As this 0-2 pitch to Shelby, looks like he might have went around as Latona doesn't ask for it. But in the end, Shelby will stay alive for at least one more. He tried to hold back and did just enough there on that 0-2 pitch from Hensley.
Shelby does have the most home runs in the league, but does have the highest strikeout rate as well. So swings big, sometimes comes up big, sometimes comes up short. Hensley looking for that first strikeout.
Got to be careful if you're Hensley here. Wouldn't be a bad idea to drop that curveball in on the 1-2. And he does, but he doesn't have good control of it, as that's a big-time block from Latona as that ball trickles its way down the first baseline.
And we're seeing Hensley go to more off-speed stuff in this start compared to most. When he was struggling with his four-seam fastball command in his last start, we saw him going to that cutter, which we've seen a couple of times, but I would like Hensley to mix in that curveball and change up a little bit more. So obviously has more confidence in his fastball, but you got to be able to throw that off-speed stuff once in a while to throw off the timing of the hitters.
The 2-2, couple of fans with a little bit of a jump there behind home plate as that one came right back into the netting as Shelby continues to fight off in this at-bat. I'll tell you what, something we don't really talk about, but the netting behind home plate, I mean, it is without a doubt the best you can buy.
That's
it's very
sure.
thin. It almost seems like it's non-existent, but it, of course, gets the job done as the 2-2 again. Shelby fighting one off as taking a quick look. That's now 6 pitches in this at-bat. A very, very good battle. As Hensley mentioned, came into this inning with 13 pitches, trying to keep it under 30 through 2.
Obviously high strikeout numbers for Shelby, but he will walk once in a while too. 15 walks. He's got a .355 on base.
As pitch number 29 on the night for Hensley. He gets his first strikeout as Shelby goes down chasing the high cheese. After leadoff single from Williams, 2 straight outs for Hensley. And here comes Jackson Smith. Again, the only batter in the lineup tonight that was not in the starting roster in the contest yesterday in that 4-1 victory.
That's pretty crazy. Look down the order. Javon Shelby has the lowest batting average at .233, but otherwise everyone hitting above .250. Smith coming in at .258 with 1 home run.
This one over there to the first baseman, Jack Dennis, in his debut. A little bit of an in-between play for him and Hensley, but the PFP's in order as 2 new teammates get the job done in a tough scenario. But after the leadoff single from Williams, Hensley gets the job done, retires 3 in a row. We head to the 3rd. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We cruise into the top of the 3rd inning. Adrian Guzman starting things off for the Unicorns. Welcome back to the booth. Rich Borland and Leo Ortel with you. 9-1-2 due up for Skip Essian's team in this one against the starter, Ben McKendall, who's been tremendous all year long with that 4-1 record and 1.93 ERA through his first 7 starts. And he starts off inning number 3 with a called strike to Guzman, who was 0 for 3 in that game on Wednesday, but did get a walk, a run, and an RBI in that start as the 0-1 pitch, that slider that McKendall loves going to, as this 0-1 pitch looked good in terms of, I thought Guzman might have went after it, but first base umpire Matt Cohen with a better view down the line says he did not, as McKendall quickly working, paints the outside corner but just misses it. It's 2-1 for Adrian.
And Guzman is only hitting .244, but has definitely picked up the average compared to last year's numbers, but only hitting .218 against righties. He definitely has more success against left-handers.
2-1, flown into shallow right center field. Whisker underneath it makes the catch with ease. 1 up and 1 down for McKendall to start this inning, and that is the 3rd straight leadoff flyout there for the starter. So speaking of that, Latona, who flew out to right to start this ball game, stands in now after Whisker corrals out number 1 in inning number 3. Latona, first pitch looking, the fastball at 90. Misses up and away. So you get ahead in the count. That's what you like to see for Jimmy Latona. Unicorns in their visiting gray bottoms and purple tops as he swings through the 1-0. Mammoths in their home whites. But for a guy like Ben McKendall, I'll mention he came to us from, of course, Los Angeles, California. And for a guy who he's got, independent ball experience and a couple years, in fact, with the numbers that he's got here, with the amount of, recognition this league gets in terms of having scouts here pretty much every single night, I'm shocked that a guy like McKendall, with his numbers, is not already up to affiliated baseball. But, hey, you know what? We're going to enjoy the time that we have with him as
Absolutely.
He's here, as the 2-1, Latona cannot hold back on that devastating slider that looks as if McKendall's throwing more often than he had, just 11% on the season coming into play tonight, but mixing it in fairly often against a Unicorn lineup who tends to have nights where they chase after off-speed pitches. And the 2-2, Latona with a perfect approach. Takes it to the opposite field, right over there to Whisker on a line, and that's the one-out single for Utica. First one-out hit of the night for them, as McKendall had gotten the first 2 outs quickly in the first 2 innings, but again, the first time that Utica tonight with a one-out hit. See if they can string something together with that newcomer, Jack Dennis, coming up to the plate. Did strike out in that first inning, but had 8 pitches in the battle against McKendall. Let's see who wins this time around.
And not a bad first at bat for Dennis. It was the fastball that McKendall sent him down on, which tends to be his strikeout pitch, as McKendall keeping tabs over there on Jimmy Latona. The Unicorns have the least amount of stolen bases in the league of any team. They're 15 of 18, but Latona is 2 for 2 this year on the base paths.
As McKendall tries to go to the back door with the breaking ball, it ends up not coming around. So Dennis with a good look to start. Now you see a breaking ball that misses the zone on the first pitch that you get. So you're ahead 1-0. You just saw an off-speed pitch. I'd be shocked to see anything other than a fastball. And if I'm Dennis, I'd be ready to take a swing. And, of course, it's a changeup, and that's why I'm up here. But either way, Dennis with a good hitter's count. 2-0 now on 2 different off-speed pitches. McKendall with a deep breath. He knows he's got to lock in and get a good pitch here. If I'm him, I'm going to try and throw a fastball down in the zone, see if he can get a ground ball that could lead to 2.
Sure, and the fastball velocity is definitely up in the start. We've seen him hit 92, which is his season high.
So he misses here on the 87-mile-an-hour pitch. And that's now a 3-0 count. First one we've seen tonight for McKendall.
And the command wasn't really there in the bat for Latona. He's trying to take something off, and usually a pitching coach will say just throw. Don't try to aim it, just throw it. And that's kind of what McKendall needs to do right now. Buckle down, do what he was doing earlier in his start. Doesn't want to walk him here with already one guy on.
And he does get called strike one there again at 87 miles an hour. And this is matchup number 14 on the season between these two squads. it was Utica who won the first 4. Westside, believe it or not, won the second 4. And as this one's fouled off, goes to the full count. Looked to be the hit and run there as Latona's going to have to cruise back to first base. But again, through the first 13 games, Utica won the first 4. Westside won the second 4. But in the last 4 games, it's been 3-1 in terms of Westside. They've won the last 3, in fact. And in total, 7 out of the first 12. As I mentioned, this, again, the 13th matchup of the season. But the run differential is this one. Hit to the left side of the infield. Not going to be an easy play for Dobson, but from the back foot, rifles one over there to the first base bag. Only play that he had as Latona was going on the pitch. And Dobson, again, with a great defensive gem, gets out number 2 and a big timeout as that easily could have been an infield single with where that ball was placed. Yep. It was a slow ground ball to the left side. Dobson had to go to his right, but he ends up making the play look easier than it was. And Eric Jones, still with an opportunity now with a runner in scoring position, singled in his first plate appearance tonight and has just one of the 3 hits here for Utica. This one does get away from Smith. It was close, and I'll be honest, Leo, I was jotting down something real quick on the scorebook. You have an idea whether it was a wild pitch or a pass ball there?
It looked like, I would probably say a wild pitch, one that was kind of in that left-hander's batter's box, a fastball that kind of slipped away from McKendall. So I would rule it a wild pitch if I was the umpire.
So Latona gets that much closer to scoring as the 1-0 misses outside at 89 miles an hour. Wouldn't be the worst thing to allow Jones to get on base, but, I mean, Bardzell and Elliott right behind you. I mean, pick your poison if you're McKendall as he shakes off Smith on the first sign. And this 3-0 fast, or 2-0 changeup, excuse me, at 80 miles an hour, it's nowhere close. And if I'm Eric Jones, 2 outs, runner on third, 3-0 count, I would not take that bat off my shoulder here on this pitch.
He can make it a first and third, but we have seen Eric Jones get the green light in 3-0 situations before.
Smith can't hold on to this pitch. Could have been strike 1, but in the end, Jones gets the 4-pitch walk, brings runners now to the corners with 2 outs, and Ashton Bardzell standing in. Mentioned he's been lights out through his first 5 starts with the Corns. 8 hits in 5 starts, 6 runs scored, and 5 RBIs already with a home run and 2 doubles out of the 8 hits.
And we've seen T.J. Ward and Nick Campana, both out of Hartford, have success. Of course, with the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, and Ashton Bardzell, also from Hartford, 283 in 2019 with 9 home runs. He had 33 home runs over 4 years there. He's already got 1 home run so far in the USPBL. Might pick the stick, of course, tonight, too.
As he looks at called strike 1, thought about it, but after that sequence with Eric Jones, you understand the approach of looking at the first pitch, but a good job from McKendall to battle back and get a first pitch strike in this count as he goes again to that changeup at 81. And on Bardzell's swinging just underneath it, fouls it off into the netting behind home plate. And McKendall quickly with an 0-2 count. I'd be shocked to see anything other than a slider in this situation.
And kind of some interesting outfield positioning, too. A lot of room down both the left field and right field line as the outfielders kind of smushed together towards the middle of that outfield.
0-2 to Bardzell, swung on and missed. He chases after a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that missed outside, but count it, strikeout number 4 through 3 for McKendall. Westside out in front by a run. We go to the home half. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. Will be Drew Kitson, Sonny Cortez, Ryan Dobson. Three very, very fast individuals. As second pitch to Kitson misses down in the dirt as the count evens up at 1-1. But for Ty Hensley, 31 pitches through 2, 18 of them for strikes. He's got 1 strikeout to no walks, which is always a good sign for a guy who's had some command issues with the Corn so far this year. As this one fouled off. Kitson was trying to take that one over the Chevy Pavilion in left field, but he doesn't end up getting all the bat on it. It drops to 1-2.
And we saw Kitson on June 28th with that home run into left field. It was on a 3-2 count against Eastside. So a good kind of comeback, couple games for him so far, but definitely great for Westside to have him back in the order and in center field. A great defensive player as well as a great offensive player. Great power numbers last season. He's already got 2 home runs through just 10 games.
Coming back after missing months with that broken clavicle after diving for a baseball out in center field early on in this season. I was not sure if I was ever going to see Drew Kitson again.
Yep.
And happy to have him back. He's a great player, a great person, and see what he can do on the 2-2. Nothing doing as home plate umpire Sean Howard with a ring up, as that is strikeout number 2 in just the last 3 batters for Ty Hensley. Hoping to see a night where he gets better as he goes. As we go back to the top of the order, we'll see how he fares the second time through the lineup.
Well, there's only been the 2 hits against him. He canceled out that leadoff triple for Cortez, who's about to step right now, and who knows where we would be. Seemed like just a couple pitches thrown, and all of a sudden Westside was able to strike for that first run after the Dobson ground out. But Cortez, of course, 1 for 1, tripled into left center field, hit the gap, and great speed, able to motor his way all the way to third.
As he hits one to the right side. Not going to be an easy play for Bonneke, but can he make it against the speedster Cortez? Yes, he can. Kyle Bonneke with a tremendous show of range, and he ends up making the play. Big-time play from a big-time player, Kyle Bonneke, showing it off here for out number 2 in the third.
That's some robbery right there, and even more impressive, we're just talking about the speed for Sonny Cortez, but able to beat Cortez down the line, one of the fastest players in this league, as Ty Hensley being helped out by his defense here. Big-time play for Bonneke. Dobson drove in the first run of the game as he stands in now with the ground out to third, as Sonny Cortez scored the run. Dobson hitting .297. 1 home run as well as 13 RBIs. And for most of the season, he was hitting kind of in that 8-9 spot, but recent success, he's up to the batting average all the way up into this 2 spot. And you combine Kitson as the double leadoff, Cortez as the leadoff, Ryan Dobson in the 2-hole, 3 speedy guys, along with the power that you have in the heart of your order, and that's why this is the best lineup in the league.
Undoubtedly. You got your speedsters at the top, your power in the middle, and also power at the bottom with Shelby and Kitson now. It is a stout lineup, and I would be shocked. You know, obviously you want to make sure everybody stays healthy throughout the rest of the year, but if this is the lineup that you produce, and of course you'll see Smith rotate with Barbie at the catching position, but if this is your lineup the rest of the way through the season, good luck to the competition, especially having also McKendall and Cronin, your 1-2 punch at the top of this rotation. As the 3-1 comes home, Dobson swings through the 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Ty Hensley looking for our first 1-2-3 inning of the night.
And you mentioned that Westside rotation. They now lead the league in ERA at .417. Good start from Cronin last night, and you put out McKendall, your ace. Obviously, probably the best 1-2 punch currently sitting in the league right now. We've obviously seen a lot of players move on. You had Luis Contreras for the Hoppers. Of course, other guys moving out of the league too.
Stockton, that's right. Utica, Goatsees, and Allegas just taking their talents to the Colorado Rockies organization yesterday. But Dobson with a couple of foul balls in a row now. This one goes into the grandstands for a souvenir for a lucky fan. Nice battle going here for the shortstop. Might pick the stick contestant on the night. Did ground out in that first at-bat, but drove in the only run of the game. And he's trying to do something here and start a two-out rally for the team. As this one flared into right field. It's got enough to stay in the park, and it's Ashton Bardzell underneath it. Ranges this one down to make the putout, and that is, in fact, a 1-2-3 frame in the home half of the third. We head to the fourth. 1-0 Westside. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Oh, yes, what a night. Perfect night for baseball at Jimmy John's Field. Gorgeous weather, 70s night on this Saturday here on this classic rock evening. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Corns. Dan Elliott, Brian Benz, newcomer Kyle Orloff due up against the right-hander McKendall, who's out there for his fourth inning of work. 56 pitches through 3 innings, though, as that is something that he is trying to, of course, get down. Now, he's only given up the 3 hits on the night, as this one to left field. Will we see it again? And yes, we will. Dan Elliott looks like he's got an approach trying to take the ball the opposite way, because he has been, without a doubt, the biggest pull hitter of the season. So he's got a little different approach going to left field with it, but he's 0 for 2 on 2 flyouts to left field on 1-0 counts, as our good buddy JJ, the field general, doing his duties, picking up the baseball bats here in this top of the fourth. It'll be Brian Benz standing in. Worked a 7-pitch at bat in the second, but did strike out looking on a fastball from McKendall, as for the second consecutive at bat, you see McKendall miss on the left side to these 2 straight hitters.
So far, first pitch strike's not going in favor of McKendall thus far. Usually hitters are working ahead of him, and the Unicorns have had some pretty good at-bats against him so far.
Yeah, they are battling. Taking a quick look.
He is definitely a strike thrower, and they've been working counts well, trying to knock him out of the game as soon as they can.
So this one in the dirt goes to the 2-1 count. Or the 2-1 count there for Benz. But I'm taking a quick look. There have been, and bear with me for just a second, there have been already 6 different counts where the batter has seen at least 5 pitches in the battle, as Benz looks at another one. This one misses in the dirt. Mentioned Brian Benz, a newcomer with these Corns, playing in his second game, was 0 for 3 in the debut, but did walk and score a run in that 6-4 win, as this one lined back up the middle. Good hitters count, and the good hitter takes advantage of it. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Take that one right back up the middle, and that is the, count it, fourth single of the night for Utica.
And the first USPBL hit there for Brian Benz. This baseball, of course, thrown over to Jim Essien. This will be something that he'll definitely remember. First hit in professional ball. And speaking of first hit in professional ball, it's exactly what Kyle Orloff did in his first at-bat as he stands in, singled into left. Of course, making his debut tonight, attended the University of Indianapolis.
It's a big-time segue, Leo. You're getting real good at this stuff.
Learning from the best.
So Orloff swings through the first pitch. McKendall could definitely use a ground ball that could lead to two, as he's thinking about Benz over there on the first base bag, but he's not going anywhere. Ground ball left side off of Shelby's chest. He's only got one play to go with. It's over to first, but not in time, as Orloff will, in fact, reach. And you can't really give an error on that play. That ball took a really weird hop right before it got to Shelby over there at the hot corner, if you will. And
looks like it's going to be an error,
too. They do put it up on the board as an error, but we'll see if that eventually ends up sticking.
Kept it in front of him, too, as it hit off his chest, but I guess for now it will be ruled an error. First and second, it'll be Kyle Bonneke, who struck out swinging on one of McKendall's fastballs, which is his go-to strikeout pitch. Takes the first pitch outside to begin this at-bat.
So, in fact, the error does get put up on the board, and, just clarifying it, yes, it was an awful hop, but it's a ball that's technically hit right at you. That's something that, in the end, you do got to make a play on, as Kyle Bonneke does have 2 home runs on the year. Takes this one big up there to the right field fence, but Ethan Whisker at the wall with the catch. Not sure if that one was going to go out of the park or not, but if it did, Ethan Whisker brought it right back, as a big fly from Bonneke cannot leave the park and give his team the 3-1 lead, but the runner from second, Benz, does move up that much closer to scoring.
He definitely heard it on the crack of the bat. Just got a little bit under it, but really solid contact there for Bonneke, who has picked it up with the bat lately. Batting average still sitting around 200, but he's had some multi-hit games over the last week. It'll be Adrian Guzman, 0 for 1. First and third for Utica, trying to get on the scoreboard.
So 2 outs, runners on the corners. Ben McKendall trying to get out of a jam. Looks like he's got the opportunity to do so out there in center field. Drew Kitson runs this one down, and outside of the single from Benz and a reach on an error from Orloff, 3 flyouts get the job done for the Mammoths here in inning number 4. We go to the home half. They lead it 1-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We boogie on down to the home half of the fourth. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. Ty Hensley out there for another inning of work. 45 pitches through 3. He's got 2 strikeouts, no walks. Will Johnson trying to add on to the lead, but he takes this fly ball about 380 feet or so out to center, and Dan Elliott makes the catch with ease. 1 up, 1 down for Hensley, as he's gotten a couple of big fly outs, but they stay in the park.
Yep.
And we'll see what Jake Polshin can do. 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. That ended inning number 1.
All right, Hensley tallied the only 1-2-3 inning of this contest in the third, as Kitson struck out. And then Cortez grounded out. Dobson flied out, so looking to do it again, but only 2 batters right now over the minimum. It's just been 2 hits for this Westside order that we keep talking about, but definitely the best in the league.
So Polshin takes a look at called strike 1 on the inside part of the plate. This one looked good from up here at 86, but it must have missed just a hair high, as the count does in fact even up. Mentioned Polshin, some of those accolades on the year. 3rd in the league on base percentage, 4th in the league with that .315 batting average, as he fouls off the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Down quickly 1-2. He had worked the full count when he grounded out to shortstop back in inning number 1, as Latona taking his time getting that loose baseball. Looks like it's good enough to keep in. No, it's not. There it goes.
Polshin, of course, attended Houston Baptist University, and it was Brady Batten closing out the game last night, so former college teammate, the new closer now of Westside.
Big-time curveball there from Ty Hensley. Mentioned former first-round draft pick of the New York Yankees, and he gets a devastating swing and a miss there from Polshin, as that one touching just 60 miles an hour. But hey, you know what? Doesn't matter how slow it is. He got a really good swing and a miss there from Polshin. Strikeout number 3 on the night for the right-hander. Let's see what he does against Williams, as he tried to hit that one into the Clinton River, but doesn't get anything out of it. Again, Williams, the former Utica Unicorn, and this is always a fun story. We've seen now an instance where Westside has flirted with a 1-0 game, if you will, against Utica this year. It was back a couple of months ago, about a month and a half ago, where it was just maybe a week and a half into the stint for Dan Williams on Westside. It was a 0-0 ball game through 7 innings, and in the bottom of the 8th, it was Dan Williams hitting a solo shot against his former team to put the Mammoths up 1-0 with a big fly ball. But he's not going to be able to do it here. 3 straight strikes thrown from Hensley, and count it now, 4 strikeouts through 4. We go to the 5th. Westside out in front by a run. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We are through 4 innings here on this Saturday night at Jimmy John's Field. Both starters with 4 strikeouts through the first 4 innings of play, as it will be the top of the order due up for Utica here in this 5th. Already 68 pitches for Ben McKendall through the first 4 innings, as he's trying to at least get through the 5th, be in line, of course, for the victory and get that 5 innings that you need to be in line for the win. But, of course, he would like to at least get through 6 and get that quality start, as Latona has an even count through the first 2 pitches. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a fly out to right, as that pitch at 80 miles an hour misses upstairs for McKendall, and you're starting to see that velocity drop a little bit as the game goes on.
He went with the fastball, found it in the strike zone for the first one there, but back-to-back changeups missing high, maybe losing that grip as well.
As this one at 88, the fastball this time missing again upstairs. So here's Latona ahead in the count 3-1. He had 2-2 counts in both of his situations where he put the ball in play through the first 2 at-bats. As this 3-1 outside corner, Howard's been calling it all night, and McKendall keeps trying to find it. I'd be shocked to see him go anywhere else but that exact same spot against Latona on this payoff pitch.
And Rich, you were talking about McKendall's great success on 3-2 counts so far this year, and also paying off for him in this game, too. As we'll take a look at the numbers, there's been, looks like 2 other 3-2 counts. He got Brian Benz to strike out on a fastball looking, and then Jack Dennis grounded out to the shortstop, so perfect for him. As far as full counts, Latona putting up a good battle. That's what you want out of your leadoff man.
This one in the dirt, easy eye for Latona. Works the 7-pitch at-bat. And then technically it is a plate appearance, reaching on the walk. So the leadoff man is on for Utica. That's what you like to see. Second walk of the night there for McKendall, something you don't like to see. As I mentioned, this is his 3rd outing out of his 8 starts on the year. This is his 3rd outing versus Utica. On the 19th of June was his first. He went 5 innings, allowed just 2 earned runs on 3 hits, did have 3 walks on his 72 pitches, but he earned the win. And then on the 14th of July, he went 6 innings, allowed just 1 earned run on 6 hits, had just 1 walk to 4 strikeouts with 2 walks, but got the no decision in that effort as the backdoor 85-mile-an-hour pitch called strike 1 here on Jack Dennis, who's still looking for his first professional hit. 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout so far tonight.
He's had a couple of good at-bats. He had the 3-2 count in the 3rd. But the left-hander, like you said, is looking for that first USPBL hit.
That one hit off the end of the bat. It goes well foul to the left side. So you're quickly down on 2 straight strikes, and McKendall mentioned struggling with the change-up command a little bit in this inning thus far.
Right.
Maybe go to something more of the slider variety to get Dennis to chase after one.
Either that or the fastball. Dennis did strike out on the fastball. It was his first strikeout for McKendall way back in the first inning.
This fastball not struck out on, but it's lined right to Will Johnson out there in left. Big time out. As how about that? Speaking of big time, Jimmy Latona, not known for the speed, the starting catcher day in and day out here for Utica, showing his strengths and showing some heads-up IQ on the base pass with a tag up to second base on a routine fly ball to left, something you don't see every day.
You love to see that, just grinding every second of the game, taking advantage of kind of a lackluster play out there in left by Will Johnson. Maybe something that Latona has noticed when he's been watching the Westside defense on the bench, and maybe his coach, Jim Essie, and of course the first base coach for Utica helping him out as well.
Had to have been, right?
Sure.
There's no way that you just nonchalantly decide to take second base on a routine fly ball to left. That is some big-time chess play here from the Corns in a situation on where they need to make a run happen. It doesn't look like we're going to see a slugfest here tonight, but I'll tell you what, that's a big-time play here. Is this one over to the left side, and another play from Latona as he takes third base, and yes, you better believe it, he's going to come in to score as he will score with ease, and the throwing error from Javon Shelby, his second error of the night, proves costly here for Westside as the Corns tie this one up at 1.
I mean, you got to give credit to the aggressive base running once again from Latona. Maybe Shelby was kind of looking at him at third base, seeing Latona was coming to third after some hesitation, and then kind of made the wild throw way over the head of Jake Polshin. Of course, not able to make the play, and with the large foul ground at Jimmy John's Field, easy for Latona to score. And, of course, Eric Jones moving up to second, but Utica finally able to get one in. They have left 5 on base through the first 4 innings, and now another chance to strike. The man on second, Ashton Barzell, might pick the stick. 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout and a ground out. He ended the first and third innings.
As he looks at a breaking ball to begin this at-bat, McKendall can't get the strike. I'll tell you right here and now, that play right there could be your play of the game if Utica can put something together in this inning. It all started with Latona's heads-up play, taking second base on a routine fly ball to left, and it's kind of trickled down into a tough defensive inning for Westside, allowing Utica to make some moves on the base paths in a situation that doesn't breed it. It's the 2-0 in there for called strike 1 at 81. So Barzell with a good hitter's count here at 2-1. McKendall trying to limit as much damage as possible in this inning, but for the second time in the frame, we see a 3-1 count. And you don't want any more walks. Already 2 on the night for McKendall, and the last one that he thrown ended up allowing the first run of the game to come in to score against him.
And those leadoff walks proven to be deadly.
The 3-1 from McKendall. Fouled off. It's got enough to get out of play, so another full count here in this frame. Taking a look down the line. First full count of the night, it was Brian Benz. He struck out looking. Second full count of the night, it was a ground out from Jack Dennis. And then the most recent one here in this inning, Latona reaching on the walk. So far, McKendall successful 2 out of the 3. Mentioned hitters were just 1 of 15 coming into play today on the full count. Let's see how Barzell fares. And look at that. Second walk of the inning accompanied with the error. Things starting to lean in favor of the Corns here in this top of the 5th.
And walks were kind of a problem for McKendall in his last start. It was his shortest start of his USPBL career. He went just 3 2/3 against the Diamond Hoppers on June the 28th, and he walked a season-high 4 batters and to only 2 strikeouts, 84 pitches in that start. Short-lived for him there. He obviously started off the start strong, but now a tie ball game, pitch count starting to rise, and Utica's had some really good at-bats. They've earned these walks as they weren't able to really get any walks early on, but now, past couple of innings, definitely taking advantage of it. And a big hitter up at the plate, Dan Elliott. 2 fly balls into left field, one a lot deeper than the other. Almost had some home run distance on it, but he's trying to go the opposite way. We've seen the shift played against him quite a bit in this season, but maybe trying to hit towards the opposite way, eliminate that shift, so eventually he can go back to pulling the ball.
So he's got a good hitter's count. He started off his last 2 at-bats, those flyouts to left on 1-0 counts where he did make contact. Let's see if he does so again here. Instead, a little try the trickery from Jackson Smith as he tries to get the back runner over there at first base. That, of course, being Ashton Barzell, but Barzell paying attention to him out there on the base pass. He slides in safely.
And you're behind 2-0. Obviously, he's been struggling with the changeup command, but as he goes on throughout this inning, the four-seam fastball command not looking too good either. You definitely don't want to leave a fastball over the heart of the plate. You got to try to paint the corner.
And he does so as Elliott swings through it anyway. That one at 88. So a longer battle for Elliott the third time around. But if you're McKendall, that pitch count was at 68 going into this 5th inning. Pitch number 22 of the inning coming up right here. This one flown out of play. That one goes to our left behind the grandstand. So, yes, at this point in time, Ben McKendall at 90 pitches here in this 5th inning. I'd be shocked to see him go out for the 6th. Elliott trying to make something happen, give the Unicorns a lead here in this 1-1 tie. Won't do it as he swings through that 90-mile-an-hour fastball from McKendall. Big-time strikeout his 5th of the night. Good for out number 2 with 2 runners on.
Yeah, first strikeout since the 3rd inning there. That definitely is big time, as Elliott was, of course, ahead in the at-bat, but a couple fastballs on the outside part of the plate, perfect paint jobs. And Rich, just as you were saying, this could be the last inning for McKendall. We are seeing action in the Westside pen. That's the lefty Tyler Schmidt beginning to get loose out there. But for now, of course, it's McKendall's inning to pitch as he looks to go 5 and keep it a tie ball game at 1s.
So Benz looks at ball 1. Easy look for him there. Starter McKendall trying to get out of this jam after the leadoff walk to Latona. The reach on an error from Eric Jones with 1 out, and then the strikeout to Elliott with a big-time swing and miss. Already has Benz on a strikeout once so far tonight as the 1-0 misses outside. Good try in the frame from Smith, but even we could tell up here in the booth that one off of the plate. So, yes, that fastball command for McKendall, not what we're used to seeing. The guy who's got that 1.93 ERA through 7 starts so far this year. Started this 5th inning off talking about how McKendall wants to work a quick 5th, be in line for the win, and then maybe go into the 6th for a quality start with the lead. But, boy, have the tides turned quickly here in this 5th. Utica not without any hits in this frame, but they're making things happen with the walks in the air.
And every start except for his last one was a quality start for McKendall, as this is now his 8th start, looking to make it 7 quality starts in a row, but could be tough. Another pretty good hitters count for Benz. The 3 walks issued by McKendall are all 2 right-handed batters. Jackson Smith goes out now to talk to McKendall. It's kind of interesting. McKendall is struggling a little bit more against the righties, it seems, as far as his command.
Trying to avoid his 3rd walk of the inning. Had just 1 coming into the 5th. That close stance for Brian Benz ends up helping. That is, in fact, the 3rd walk of the inning, 4th overall on the night for McKendall, as somebody looks like they're starting to toss out there in the Westside bullpen, as trying to get a face out there.
It was the left-hander Tyler Schmidt getting loose. He was getting loose earlier in the inning. I don't know if you saw that. He might be ready to go, but it looks like he's going to stay in the ballgame for now against Orloff in his debut. 1 for 2 with the single, but 2 reaches as he reached on the air from Shelby in the 4th. Good start to this at-bat, too, with the strike. Fastball from McKendall. Bases loaded, looking to escape the jam.
First time tonight that Orloff has came up to the plate with a runner in scoring position, and he comes through. Coming in to score with ease is number 4, Eric Jones, and then a little bit tougher of a try, but he also coming in to score, that being Ashton Bardzell. A 2 RBI single for Kyle Orloff. 2nd hit of the night here in his debut, and he is the difference maker at the moment. Puts Utica up 3-1.
Have yourself a debut. Kyle Orloff, 2 for 3, couple of RBIs. The Unicorns, who had left 5 on base coming into this inning, finally able to produce. It was a big 6-run inning for them against the Beavers on Wednesday. It was the only inning that they scored in to win that ball game by 2. But it looks like this one is going to end the outing for McKendall, as Brian Kluppe goes out there to take the ball from him, and it looks like he's going to turn it over to the left-hander, and I believe that's Tyler Schmidt.
So we'll take a quick break, give you the final line for McKendall, and give you a little bit more info on the man coming in to pitch now for Westside, who are looking to win their 5th straight game, but they will have to make it a comeback version here tonight. And we'll take a quick break. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. All right, everybody, into this situation that, of course, brings a little bit of hostility. And right at the moment, Kyle Bonneke ducking out of the way of that pitch from Tyler Schmidt, who's in for Ben McKendall. McKendall threw 98 pitches tonight, 30 in that last fifth inning here. 4 2/3, 3 runs, one of them earned on 5 hits, but 4 walks to count him, 5 strikeouts on the night for the starter McKendall out of Los Angeles, California. And as the newcomer in now, of course, that being Tyler Schmidt, making his count it overall appearance on the year. How about we hear a little bit more from Mr. Leo Ortel as the 2-0 in there for called strike 1.
Now we'll quickly dive into the season numbers for Schmidt. He's posted a 7.82 ERA over 12 2/3 innings. And in most situations, you'd think a lefty-on-lefty advantage goes to the pitcher, but Schmidt has fared better against right-handed hitters. And interestingly enough, Kyle Bonneke has fared better against left-handed pitchers. As we take a look at the average against Tyler Schmidt against lefties, 3 for 12. Opponents are hitting .250 against him. And then for Kyle Bonneke, 5 for 21 against lefties, .238 compared to just .202 against righties. And it's not going to pay off here, as that's another walk in this inning. 3 walks in the inning for the starter McKendall, and the first for Tyler Schmidt, who came in with 15 walks to 6 strikeouts over 12 2/3 innings.
And not only that, Leo, but coming off of one of his tougher outings of the year. It was just a couple days ago on the 30th against the Beavers. Went just 1 inning, allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, only one of them earned, but he had 3 walks in the outing. One of his 2 different 3-walk affairs this season, as the first pitch to Adrian Guzman in there for called strike 1 on the outside part of the plate.
And Guzman's definitely a guy that enjoys way more success against left-handed pitchers. He's only hitting .218 against righties, but against lefties, Guzman 7 for 18, .389, a lot better than his season overall batting average at .244.
That was a big-time call there from Guzman as Schmidt throws a strike in there, but it won't count as he gets the hands up from home plate umpire Sean Howard just in the nick of time. I wonder if Schmidt will go back to the fastball, which is what he was going to throw on the 0-1. See if he does it again. A deep breath. Comes home with it. Off-speed pitch. Tried to enter that back door. Could not get it to go at 84 miles an hour. So Guzman trying to win this chess match, and obviously nowhere to put him. You got to throw some strikes here if you're Schmidt. The 1-1 pitch in there. That one it fouled off to the right side. Guzman now down on a 1-2 count. And for Schmidt, I mean, the beauty of it, a guy we don't see all the time, and he hasn't had the greatest success so far this year, but maybe try and go back to the backdoor breaking ball and get a better try out of it this time.
And speaking of not much success, overall as a team, Utica hitting just .111 with the bases loaded, 4 for 36 this season.
Make it 4 for 37. Guzman rung up on strikes. Schmidt comes in, does throw a walk to Bonneke to load the bases, but he gets the strikeout to Guzman. As for the second consecutive inning, he is retired on the 3rd out, but the Corns bat 9. They bat through the order in the 5th, and they put up 3 runs on the board, 2 of them unearned as we head to the home half of the 5th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Ty Hensley pitching for the first time with the lead as we go to the home half of the fifth. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. 6, 7, 8 due up for Westside in this home half of the fifth. Whisker, Shelby, Smith, as 53 pitches have been thrown for Hensley coming into this inning. Pitch number 54, fouled off by Ethan Whisker, your beer batter of the game, up for just the second time in the contest tonight. And if you're a USPBL fan and you know these teams, just 2 hits through the first 4 innings for this lineup, Ty Hensley's doing an incredible job as the 0-1 misses with the breaking ball in the dirt.
Yeah, he really has, and he's only had 2 starts this season that have been 4 innings or more, and those 2 were against Westside. Like we mentioned, a span of 4 days, Hensley threw a total of 208 pitches and shut down Westside twice, but still looking for that first USPBL win.
This one popped up high out there to the left side. It's Guzman, the shortstop, underneath it to make the catch. 1 up and 1 down for the starter Hensley. As Shelby standing in now again. That amazing stat that you brought up there, Leo. Last 7 games for Javon Shelby, 5 home runs and 14 RBIs.
You really can't beat that. The player of the week a couple of weeks ago hit that 3-run shot against the Hoppers last night. As Westside only put up 8 hits, which for them a little bit low, but that 3-run shot definitely the difference maker in that 4-1 win. 90 from Hensley, missing just on the outside half. Shelby in this game went down swinging on a fastball from Hensley. Was on a 2-2 count in the second inning, his only plate appearance thus far. And now 8 home runs, leading the league. He's setting himself apart from Adam Gauthier or actually I should say Jimmy Latona and Ross Haffey.
As coming underneath it to make this catch, Eric Jones runs in, second pop out of the inning to the left side. And I'll tell you what, Ty Hensley, he was in that dugout for a long time in the top of the 5th, but not skipping a beat. Taking a quick look, he has retired last 11 in this outing. And just the 2 hits allowed, the triple from Cortez to start the game, and the single from Dan Williams that led off inning number 2. So we mentioned his best start of the year back on the 18th of July against these Mammoths. Went 6 innings, allowed just 2 hits, 1 earned run with 2 walks and 7 Ks. He's, for the most part, on pace. No walks just yet for him, and in total just the 4 strikeouts. But overall, a very, very good night for the former first-round draft pick of the Yankees, Ty Hensley. The command obviously been the issue for him, trying to just work out all those surgeries and how that body is fitting now. And on the 1-1, it misses upstairs. Good eye from Smith to work the good hitters count.
And along with those surgeries, a couple Tommy John surgeries, the velocity's decreased for him obviously since high school when he was throwing 97, but he has topped out at 95 this season. This start throwing around 91 to 93 top on the fastball, but like you said, Rich, the command has been there. You don't want to walk a batter here with 2 down, and walks have not been Hensley's strong point this year, but in this game so far they have been.
As this one popped up left side again. So you pop out to short, you pop out to third, and another pop out to short. 3 to the left side in the inning for Hensley. Back to back to back. 1, 2, 3 frames there for the former first-round pick. We head to the 6th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Tyler Schmidt back out there. He concluded the top of the fifth inning for Ben McKendall, who went 4 2/3 the starter, 98 pitches, and arguably one of his worst outings of the year. Still not bad, but not where you'd want to be if you're a guy like Ben McKendall, whose ERA will go up just a little bit tonight, as it was a walk to load the bases and then a strikeout via the look that retired Adrian Guzman. Schmidt getting out of the threat, but the Unicorns bat through the order in the fifth inning. Latona started it all with a full count walk on 7 pitches as he looks at the second pitch of the at-bat here for called strike 1.
Actually, that's called strike 2, I believe. Yeah, 0-2. I think the scoreboard had it wrong there again. But 2 strikes in the battle here to Latona. Single for him as well as a walk. He's 1 for 2. And when leading off in the game or the inning, he's hitting .500. And as a team, the leadoff hitters for Utica hitting .378.
This one taken for a decent ride out into right. It's Whisker who ranges to his left to make the catch. 1 up and 1 down here in inning number 6. Good job for Schmidt to get the leadoff man out. And taking a quick look, wow, how about that split right there? Inning number 1, leadoff man out. Leadoff man in inning number 2 out. Leadoff man in inning number 3 out. Leadoff man in inning number 4 out. And leadoff man in inning number 6 out, but not in the 5th when they put up their 3 runs.
That's
big time.
It's a difference maker when you get that leadoff guy on, and Utica has had success getting that leadoff man all year, which is why they've been able to score runs, but can't do it in this inning.
As Jackson Smith underneath it makes the catch, a guy who played in all 9 positions for the Mammoths last year in one of their last regular season games. Easy catch for a guy like that, as quickly 2 up and 2 down here in this 6th inning. For as long as the top of the 5th was, bottom of the 5th and top of the 6th, cruising, trying to retire 6 in a row between Hensley and Schmidt.
Pitchers are starting to buckle down, but kind of quality at bats going down too. Hitters getting a little bit antsy at this point in the game to try to make something happen.
Jones doesn't try anything there. He looks at called strike 1 to begin this at-bat. Didn't see any strikes in that 4-pitch walk back in inning number 3. Other than that, he's reached on a single and an error, and he came in to score the second run of the game, which at this point in time is your what would be game-winning run. But he swings through the 0-1 pitch quickly down 0-2. Schmidt trying to get a 1-2-3 inning of his own here in top of the 6th.
Now, this could be one of Schmidt's best outings here. We'll see if he'll come out for next inning, but could send him down 1-2-3 here. He's looking sharp.
That's a great pitch on an 0-2, a breaking ball that starts towards the bottom of the zone and then drops beneath it as it's going right over that heart of the plate. But a good eye there from Jones, down on 2 strikes, able to keep the bat back, something that I was never able to do. Let's see if he can do it here on the 1-2. Schmidt, the lefty, the kick, the slide step. Fastball inside, but it looked darn close. There at 90 miles an hour. Jones up on the plate. Maybe had a little something to do with the no called strike 3.
Jones definitely crowding the plate. And Schmidt, last couple go-arounds, a couple of tough outings like Rich mentioned, but there was a stretch between June 30th and July 19th in which it was 6 scoreless innings in a row for Schmidt. So there has been signs where he's looked good like this.
This one, left side. Dobson, he makes a tough ground ball look easy as a fly out, a pop out, and now a ground out. Retire the Corns in order. We head to the home half of the 6th. Westside trails by 2. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We head to the home half of the 6th inning, just 64 pitches so far for Ty Hensley. He got 1, 2, 3 outings in his last 3 innings and faced just 4 in inning number 1 and in inning number 2. So just 2 batters above the minimum as he's got 4 strikeouts through the first 5 innings of play. Drew Kitson, the bottom of the order, and then the top. Due up here quickly. 2 pitches, though, out of the zone for Hensley as he's got to stick to the plan here in inning number 6. As we mentioned, he did have that outing on the 18th where he went 6 innings, but that was without a doubt his best start of the year. As this one, the 2-0, swung on and missed at 91 miles an hour, does number 19. Kitson 0 for 1 with that looking strikeout. It was on 4 pitches. That was for out number 1 in the 3rd inning. Hensley's trying to do the same thing here. The 2-1. Misses upstairs at 89, so Kitson with a healthy hitter's count. Mentioned last night in that 4-1 win, he was 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. As he's got an opportunity to get the leadoff man on for just the 3rd time tonight. And if this one stays in play, he won't be able to do it, as Latona goes about as far as he possibly could, but that one reaches the 3rd row here in the grandstands. So Kitson works the count full. Not that he would have liked it, but that for sure would have been strike 2. So he fouls it off, and the count ranges full. Hensley, I mentioned McKendall coming into play today. Batter's just 1 for 15 on the full count against him with 21 strikes and 5 balls before tonight's action. Hensley this year on full counts, 36 strikes to just 14 balls, and hitters are just 3 of 21 against him. So both of the starters tonight succeeding on full counts, and advantage here goes to Hensley. Pop out over to first, 1 up, 1 down here in the 6th.
And now 3 for 3 on full counts in this game, and you got to love the way that Hensley responded after the way that this game began. Obviously a huge advantage for Westside to strike first. It was Sonny Cortez's triple and then Dobson's ground out. 2 batters, and Westside put up what is their only run of the game now, but Hensley after that, kind of showing off that veteran experience, he buckles down, and what he's done since has been excellent.
13 straight batters retired for the former first-round pick. Trying to make it 14, but that's nothing easy when you're going up against a guy in Sonny Cortez. We've mentioned it, the leadoff triple and the only run scored for Westside back in inning number 1. They've gone scoreless since.
Only 2 hits for them, too. And Hensley, we know he's got the velocity, as that was what appeared to be a breaking ball at 86. Maybe that cutter, but we know he's always had the velocity, but if he has the control, that's how Hensley's going to be deadly, and that's why he's been so good tonight. And no walks have been a big part of that, too, as he does look for that 4th strikeout, missing the zone on the 0-2.
So the count drops to 1-2 for Hensley, but this is some big time stuff, and you're seeing some action tonight from Hensley. Granted, it's about 4 to 5 less miles an hour than where he was at when he was drafted in the 1st round. But hey, the numbers tonight, I mean, they are right there as Cortez looks at the 2nd straight out of the zone. If you're Hensley here, don't want to work a full count again in this inning, try and go after Cortez right here and now. And I think Sonny's got an idea of that too. Let's see what comes home on the 2-2. Fastball in there at 92 miles an hour as Cortez makes enough contact to stay alive. And it looks as if Hensley's going after him inside here, which is something that you like to see. Cortez, a guy who I mentioned has the most runs scored in the league, the 2nd most hits coming into play today, top 4 RBIs in the league, and a top 3rd batting average at 324. As that breaking ball just missed upstairs. That's the 2nd breaking ball we've seen tonight from Hensley that cannot get the called 3rd strike there from Sean Howard when it misses just upstairs. It was Whisker back in the 2nd inning when he flew out to left field after that no called 3rd strike. Let's see what happens for Cortez. He chases the fastball upstairs. Strikeout number 5 on the night for Hensley. And the Mammoths, on a rare occasion, struggling to find hits as they've, just got the 2 so far here through 5 2/3, as it's now 14 in a row for Ty Hensley retired.
And that's that lethal fastball top of the zone. Cortez likes to battle up there. A good battle put up by him in that plate appearance, but ends up chasing that high fastball, which pretty much all in part due to that velocity. But Hensley does have some good movement on it, too. Not just a straight fastball. You always got to have a little bit of movement, and that's what that had.
So the first pitch to Dobson, a good one, but it just misses on the outside part of the plate. Dobson 0 for 2 technically with a ground out and a fly out, but he did drive in the only run of the game for the Mammoths. So back in that first after Cortez's leadoff triple. A ground out to third base was enough to drive in the run. But you got nobody on, 2 outs. Dobson, a guy who is not known for the power. He does have 1 home run on the year, but a guy definitely there to get on base for the guys behind him. See if he can start something here with 2 outs. The 1-1, line drive up the middle, and it's going to drop. So exactly what Dobson likes to see. First knock of the night for him is that, yes, just the 3rd hit of the night for these Westside Woolly Mammoths here with 2 outs in the 6th.
And look out on the base pass for Ryan Dobson, a perfect 12 for 12 stolen base attempts this year, which is good for first in the league. So obviously you put the guy on with 2 outs, something you never want to do, but then you put on the best base runner as far as stolen bases. So look for him to possibly try to move into scoring position.
And Hensley this year, I mentioned he had 2 good outings against these Westside Woolly Mammoths, but for his 2 best starts of the year, it's something magical, ladies and gentlemen, and I guess that's okay because he is a unicorn, if you will. But against the Mammoths on the 14th, he went to 5 2/3. He threw 104 pitches, and then in his next outing, just 4 days later against Westside again, he goes 6 innings, throws another 104 pitches, 208 thrown out of the same arm in just 4 total days.
Yeah.
And take a quick look at this. That single here in this 6th inning with 2 outs from Dobson, just pitch number 80 on the night for Hensley. And so pitch 81, a strike to Johnson. But you can have under 85 pitches through 6 innings for a guy who's got multiple 100-pitch outings. You hopefully see him go through the 7th if he can get Will Johnson retired here.
And clearly he was a little bit worn down on his start against the Diamond Hoppers on the 26th. He walked 5 batters over just 2 2/3 with 71 pitches, so a little bit taxing, just pitching on 3 days of rest between those 2 really good starts. But it looks like he's a lot fresher tonight, as this is probably the best command we've seen from Hensley all year.
Without a doubt. And I mean, we talk about McKendall and Cronin for Westside.
Yep.
Eastside now, I mean, they're going to rely on their newcomer because Goatse's obviously just got picked up. He was their ace. And then you got, of course, the Beavers, who their pitching staff is looking for anything at the moment as they've had guys get hurt, and now Allegus getting picked up as well. They are trying to rely on pretty much anybody that they can. But here for Utica, if you can have Hensley throw like this, and then also add Goodson when he's pitching at his best.
Yeah.
Those 2 are as dangerous as any 1-2 punch in the league, as Latona trying to take advantage of the ball that stays in his vicinity as he keeps that one in front of him. But Dobson simply just too much speed as he gets into scoring position there on the pitch in the dirt. Hensley's got to be careful now as Johnson does have 2 strikes against him. He holds off on the 1-2 pitch. But if I'm Hensley, try and go with that fastball in on the hands to Johnson, who's 0 for 2 with a pop out to short and a fly out to center. But it looks as if the catcher, Latona, is set up outside, and it's a breaking ball that freezes the left fielder. Strikeout number 6 on the night, 2nd in the inning for Ty Hensley, as, yes, he's just around 85 through 6. We go to the 7th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We are through 6 innings of play here on this 70s night at Jimmy John's Field. As Tyler Schmidt in there for another inning of work, and this is not a good situation at all, ladies and gentlemen. Javon Shelby gets taken out of this game, and it's actually Jake Barbie who has a tough welcome into this game. We saw the error that was put up on the board against Shelby earlier tonight, and it was kind of on the same sort of hop that Barbie just took over there at the hot corner. As that one, he just touches his right cheekbone, as that is not any type of situation that you want to be in. As I wonder if the scorekeeper is going to give another error up on a bad bounce, because he gave it to Shelby because it was technically right at him, and that literally could not have been more right at Jake Barbie. No. But with him getting hurt on that play, I'd be shocked to see them give the error up on the board.
Yeah, no official ruling yet. There were already 2 errors in this ball game, so we are waiting for looks to be that official ruling, but pretty much an impossible play with the nasty hop that one took. But good to see Jake Barbie stay in the game, a tough competitor over there. Just coming in the game, that's also just one you never want to see.
Is this one in the dirt? Elliott looks at ball 1 in this at-bat. Jackson Smith doing the catching tonight. He's happy to see his teammate Barbie all right over there, because if not, Jackson Smith would have been fairly busy throughout the rest of the season. Of course, the other catcher over there at the hot corner now in Barbie. But Schmidt, again, out here for another inning of work. 17 pitches through an inning and a third. As this ground ball hit hard to the left side. Looked fair, but Polshin must have picked it up just foul. That was a quick call there from Sean Howard right on top of it. A good call, and with the quickness, as that'll just be strike 1.
Tough night for Elliott so far. Did have the deep fly out to left field in the second. Was kind of trying to take it the opposite way. Also in the 4th inning, flied out into left in the 4th, but went down swinging on a fastball from McKendall in the 5th.
A big swing and a big miss there from Elliott, who's had a little tough night thus far. Mentioned the 2 flyouts to left field, as he's normally that pull hitter, but did strike out on 5 pitches in that long 5th inning for Utica, as he's trying to avoid his 2nd consecutive strikeout. Schmidt in the dirt, as heads up over there, Ashton. Thought about taking second on the dirt, but a heads-up play there from Jackson Smith. Keeps that one in the wickets, and out in front, doesn't allow the runner to advance.
And you can still see Elliott is being played to pull. Normally double play depth, Sonny Cortez would be a little bit closer to the second base bag, but he's pretty much in his normal spot over there. Maybe a little bit shifted more to the left because it's a double play opportunity.
The 2-2, back up the middle, right on cue, Leo. That double play opportunity. Over there at second is Cortez. Dobson at short, and the bang-bang play retires Elliott over at the first base bag. And the leadoff infield single off the cheekbone of Barbie comes at no exhaust, as Barzell is retired, as well as Elliott. Big-time play there from the middle infielders getting the job done. The 4-6-3 putout is recorded. 2 for the price of 1, and here comes Brian Benz, who started off with a tough night, struck out on 7 pitches looking in the 2nd inning, but since then, a single and a walk, both on 3-1 counts. So first pitch, a ball called at home plate, but it looks as if Benz almost went around. But these umpires, both Sean Howard behind the dish and Matt Cohen at first, they're really on top of it tonight. A lot of close calls, not just with the almost strike swings, but also plays on the base paths and some close ones at home plate, but fairly consistent throughout, as the 1-0 swung right through. No help there from the mustache.
And it looks like the official ruling for that ground ball to Jake Barbie from Barzell will be a hit, in fact, the 6th of this ball game. But erased, of course, with the Dan Elliott ground into the double play, his first time doing so this season. Ben's now down 1-2, struck out looking on a fastball, and a 3-2 count from McKendall in the 2nd.
This one, he just gets a piece of it as it trickles behind everybody at home plate. But hey, that's all you need. All you need is that little tiny piece to stay alive, and who knows what it could turn into. I know you mentioned Ben's plenty of power in his tenure coming to the USPBL, but nothing to show for it through the first couple of outings for him. Mentioned he's in just his second game here with the Corns as the 1-2 in the dirt low, it evens it up.
Big power numbers. Of course, at the University of Cumberland's, I had a buddy working as a broadcaster over there, Matt Plementosh. Got to watch him for all of last season, and he pretty much raved about his power, telling me once he joined the league that this guy definitely has big-time power potential. And we were talking kind of about his closed stance, and I actually was on the call for his debut, and I kind of compared it to Giancarlo Stanton. Obviously, you can't compare maybe the power of Stanton to the power of Ben's, but it looks like he's got a similar type of approach. Hands kind of back, bat over the shoulder, and a very closed stance. Kind of reminds me of Stanton.
Just kind of load all that power up and explode.
That's right.
That's exactly the kind of hitter that Brian Benz could be. Mentioned 0 for 3 in the debut, but the single and the walk in his last 2 tries, trying to reach base safely for the 3rd consecutive time, but on the opposite end, Schmidt trying to get a 1-2-3 inning for the 2nd consecutive time. The payoff pitch. Fastball, swung on and missed it, 92. Ooh. The leadoff single here for the Corns. Turns into a double play and then a swing and miss strikeout. We head to stretch time at Jimmy John's Field. Utica out in front 3-1. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Out of stretch time into the home half of the 7th. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. And as Ty Hensley's night continues, this is without a doubt the longest outing officially that he's had so far on the year. He's had one outing where he's gone the 6th innings, and he's gone against Westside. It was his last outing against them on the 18th of July, where he went the 6 innings, allowed just the 2 walks, the 1 earned run on just 2 hits with 7 strikeouts, as he's trying to up himself today, just the 1 run on the 3 hits, as this will be the 4th hit of the night, of course. Jake Polshin with a hard hit ball on the 1-1 count. Nice try there from Eric Jones at the hot corner, lays out to his left, gets a piece of it with the leather, but it simply hit just too hard off the bat of Polshin, and it goes into left for, count it, the 3rd single of the night, 4th overall hit.
And not much going against Hensley. We continue to rave about his command compared to his other starts. I mean, he's yet to walk a batter, now with 6 strikeouts. His season high was 7 in that 6-inning start against Westside on the 18th of June.
Dan Williams stands in 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. This fastball misses upstairs. Easy eye there from the former Unicorn, as we've seen a lot of clutch scenarios for Dan Williams at the plate this year. He is, in fact, the tying run, as this fastball at 91 fouled off into the protective netting. And a little bit of a chess match. Obviously, Hensley knows a little bit about Williams. Williams knows a little bit about Hensley, with them being former teammates, practicing a little bit together. Is, in my opinion, the advantage right now. I'd give it still to Hensley. Get an opportunity to maybe get a ground ball, and get that double play, just like your counterpart Schmidt did in the top half of the inning after the leadoff single from Bardzell, but quickly Dan Williams down 1-2 with another foul ball.
And if you remember his last time around, Williams was ahead in the count, but Hensley came back with 2 really good fastballs on the outside part of the plate that Williams swung right through. Looks like they're going inside this time. Breaking ball attempt, not even close. But, I mean, obviously we've seen better command with the fastball. Seems like the longer the start goes on, he seems to be mixing in that curveball a little bit more. So he did have the strikeout looking to end the 6th on that good breaking ball to Will Johnson. So what, do you go back to the fastball here? You have to think he would, as he doesn't throw a ton of off-speed pitches. Coming in just 14% of the time combined, throwing his curveball and changeup, which you could call a cutter, maybe an off-speed pitch in a sense, as he usually throws that one around 84 to 86, so lower velocity than the fastball, but not the traditional off-speed pitch, of course.
See what Hensley goes with on the 2-2. Fastball in 92, up and in. Williams loves that kind of pitch. He just couldn't catch up to it, and honestly, in terms of the elevation of that pitch, it was high enough for it to be somewhat in that vicinity that Williams kind of sees those eyes light up,
That's
but
right.
It's too high for him to catch up to. That's a perfect pitch for the right-hander Ty Hensley, and he gets strikeout number 7, ties the season high.
Able to work ahead of him. That was the most important thing. He knows that Williams was struggling on the fastball, so good call between Hensley and Latona, as it'll be Whisker 0 for 2 on the night, looking for his first hit after coming off a tough night last night.
I like the try there from Hensley. Breaking ball to start against the big-time hitter Whisker, who puts the ball in the air more than on the ground. That's just for certain. Home Run Derby runner-up. Not this year, but last, and he's hot as of late. He did go 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in the game last night, but not including that outing. The last couple of games for him have really been an offensive surge.
That's right.
And boy, do they need their leader now.
And upping the power numbers, he's got 5 home runs, and he's a guy that's always going to hit the ball hard. He's got the highest average exit velocity in the league, 90.27 miles per hour. So he definitely hits the ball hard, but so far a couple of lazy pop-outs for him tonight. Obviously not happy with last night and the way that today's going, but you got to value every at-bat, and that's exactly what he's going to try to do here. It's not a bad hitter's count at 2-1.
2 on the count on number 1-2. Let's see what he can do. Fastball up and away at 90, so we've seen one other instance tonight where the count was 3-1 for Hensley, but he fought back and he ended up getting a putout. But a very tough scenario here. Runner on, you're in the stretch position, which you haven't been a lot so far tonight. If I'm Whisker, I might be working a full count here, or at least trying to. And there it is, in the dirt. First walk allowed from Hensley, and you wonder if that will lead to a pull of the string, as he had 86 pitches coming into this inning. And taking a quick look, he's at 99 at the moment, so a pitch under 100. Mentioned he had 104 pitches in 2 separate outings, both of them within 4 days of each other, so he threw 208 pitches in the span of 4 days. So you know the arm isn't tired, and it looks as if it's Sam Cottingham Beard getting loose out in that bullpen at the moment. One of the arms that Skip Essien and Willie Martin will go to in a moment's notice, in a moment of need. is Jake Barbie, who defensively replaced Shelby in this inning. Took that tough one off the cheekbone to start, and it ended up not costing Westside as they got the double play to retire both Bardzell and Elliott, and then Benz with the swing and miss strikeout. But this is a big-time scenario for Jake Barbie. Coming into this game late, your body at least fresh before you took that ground ball off the cheek. And he's got a good hitter's count, 1-0 to start. Looks at this fastball, misses upstairs at 91, so this is a moment where Hensley will make or break his night. You really have to go after Barbie in this instance, and he knows it as well.
And kind of a rare opportunity for Barbie, just his second pinch hit at bat.
This one lined into center, but Elliott ranging to his left and gets that baseball on the run. Also throws that ball in very quickly to at least make it some type of threat to the base runner Pulsion running. But in the end, he gets the baseball back into play quickly enough to not allow Whisker to advance. And if you're Barbie, obviously not happy that you didn't get the base knock, but if you can deliver a run here from Jackson Smith to drive in this second run of the game for your team, that fly ball will end up helping out the team. And you got to think big picture.
That's right.
Hensley's trying to get through the seventh inning for the first time this year.
It looks like they will hold Whisker on at first. Smith, a lefty, could pull one down the line. Outside pitch, hard to pull that one. 91 right on that outside corner. That's really what Hensley's been doing all night long. That's why he's been so dominant. Been able to paint that fastball where he wants to. He usually will miss high with it when his command is off, but not many signs of it being off outside of the walk this inning.
0-1, fouled off again at 91. He's been very consistent at 91 tonight.
Yep.
Couple of 92s. I don't believe I saw 93 at any point.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I did either. A season high 95, but maybe taking a little velocity off it in this start to focus more on the command, something that he can look to bring into future starts too.
So he's got Smith down 0-2 in this count. Already 7 strikeouts on the night, but most importantly, trying to not allow Pulsion to come in to score. The 0-2. Fastball, there it is. There it is right there, 94 on the gun. He was trying to blow that one past number 9, but with velocity comes a little bit inaccuracy as that one missed more upstairs than he would have probably liked. But if I'm Hensley, I'm going fastball again here.
Get that a little bit more so over the heart of the plate too. You don't want to leave it too far outside.
This one taken for a decent ride out into right. Ashton Bardzell at the track, at the wall, and he makes the catch, as that one could have very well changed the dynamic of this ball game, but it is in fact the Corns that will take this 3-1 lead into the 8th with a big exhale from Ty Hensley and the boys as the Corns trying to slow these Westside Woolly Mammoths down as they're looking to win their 5th straight. We go to the 8th, 3-1 Utica. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. So Ty Hensley gets out of the jam in the 7th. First time that a runner got past the second base bag since the leadoff triple from Sonny Cortez in the 1st. Utica, though, still out in front by a score of 3-1, and a big courtesy there of the newcomer Kyle Orloff in the debut. Already 2 for 3 on the night, 2 singles, a reach on an error, but he did deliver at this point in time what would be your game-winning RBIs. The 2 RBI single in that long 5th inning has been your difference here tonight, and he's trying to get things going against the new arm. That, of course, is John Murphy. Is this one taken for a decent ride into right field, but it's Ethan Whisker underneath it as he retires Bonneke, 1 up and 1 down. But Tyler Schmidt, the night, very good. 2 1/3 innings pitched, 30 pitches thrown for him, 19 of them for strikes. Just the 1 hit allowed, no runs, just the 1 walk and just the 1 strikeout. But in the end, a very good night for Tyler Schmidt. And, of course, John Murphy trying to do the same thing and follow suit for the Mammoths, who desperately need some quick outs here in the remainder of this game.
I don't know if you saw it, Rich, but it was Kyle Orloff leading off the inning. Kyle Bonneke was up on the scoreboard as he's now standing in.
Thank you, sir.
Of course, against this newcomer, John Murphy out of Merchantville, New Jersey. He attended Maryland University, stands at 6'4", was used as a relief pitcher. His 2019 stats, 33 1/3 innings, 4.32 ERA, but did have 54 strikeouts to 17 walks. So good numbers there. Is coming off a good relief outing against Birmingham Bloomfield on July 30th. 1 1/3 of an inning as he gave up 2 hits, no earned runs, walked 1 and didn't strike out any, but threw 7 1/3, 8 strikeouts to 4 walks, a pretty high 6.14 ERA, but it seems like he is settling down as time goes on. The numbers are getting better for John Murphy, who kind of started off rocky in his first couple outings, 4 earned runs combined in 2 innings. But since then, just 1 earned run over his last 5 1/3. So things are definitely looking up for this tall 6'4" right-hander, once again out of Merchantville, New Jersey. Bonneke battling up here at the plate, fouling off the 0-2 pitch.
A changeup at 81. Must have missed by just a hair. Not sure how a guy like Bonneke, who has some of the best contact rate in the league, even though that batting average is below the Mendoza line, guy who does not look at a lot of pitches, and I'm shocked that he let that one trail by, but in the end he gets the good call out of it, something that you don't see all too often when a guy's down with 2 strikes, but again, back to work. Murphy, this one, back up the middle, line drive, but right at Drew Kitson, as that one tails right into the web of his glove. 2 up and 2 down on 2 flyouts here in this top of the 8th, and Guzman standing in 0 for 3 with 2 flyouts, or excuse me, a flyout, a pop out, and a looking strikeout. 2 of his 3 outings so far tonight for the 3rd out of the inning.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid that for a 3rd time tonight.
And the Unicorns, as a team, hitting below their season average with the bases empty. They're hitting .237 compared to their .247 batting average overall. But Guzman will try to get some kind of 2-out rally started to give his team some insurance runs, as most likely we won't see Ty Hensley next inning. It'll be the bullpen going to work for Utica. You'd like to add at least a few more. You never know what's going to happen when you take Hensley out of the game after the dominant start with the dangerous Westside order. You would like to add at least a couple insurance runs over the next few innings.
As this one misses upstairs, the fastball at 92. Westside kind of has that double leadoff going. That's why you put a guy like Drew Kitson at the bottom of the lineup, as he will lead things off for them in the home half of the 8th. They're trying to get back up to the plate pretty quickly. Just the 9th pitch coming up here in this inning for John Murphy. 2 outs, nobody on. Guzman with a 2-0 approach. Looks at it. Fastball at 90 miles an hour. A paint job on the outside part of the plate brings it back to 2-1. So Guzman was 0 for 3 in their last public game on Wednesday in the 6-4 win with a walk and a run and an RBI, but yes, no hits. As this fastball, again at 90, misses in the dirt. Easy pickup for Smith, but for Guzman, he'll take a 2-out walk, get himself on the base paths for his teammate Jimmy Latona, the guy who led the league in home runs for what felt like about a month up until Javon Shelby got hot, as this 3-1 fouled off to the right. So a good pitch from Murphy in a moment where he needed it. See if he can do it again and force the 1-2-3 inning for the Corns, which would be, after that long fifth where they got their 3 runs, would be the 3rd straight inning on a 1-2-3.
And the one unconventional with the ground into double play for Dan Elliott, but yeah, the Mammoths have kind of buckled down here. McKendall not with the strongest start, obviously, but Schmidt's done a nice job, and Murphy's looking for a clean inning.
Won't be able to get it, though, as the payoff pitch misses up and in, as Guzman works the 2-out walk. Those are never good, just about as bad as the leadoff walks. But we'll see what Latona can come up with. 1 for 3 on the night with a single, 2 flyouts to right field. But he did come in to score in that long 5th inning when he led the inning off with a walk.
And the single was to right field, too, so he shot the ball the opposite way 3 times. The 3 times he's put the ball in play. So if you're Ethan Whisker, look out in right, as it seems to be Latona's approach tonight. And look at that foul ball. It's going to hopefully go out of play for the sake of the Unicorns, but it seems like he's still trying to take it the opposite way.
Gotta love the approach. I mean, that is what you kind of have to do if you're looking to bump that average up, because when you're trying to take the ball the opposite way, if there is a ball that's thrown, whether it be a changeup or something off speed, you can, of course, stay in it.
Yep.
And if you happen to be a little late on the pitch, it, for the most part, should stay in between the lines. So love the approach from Latona. The 0-1 to him. Fastball right down Broadway at 91. He swings right through it. Maybe just a little bit behind, but either way, close enough. Just couldn't get the bat on it. Down 0-2. He has worked the count tonight, I'll tell you that much. A 2-2 count in his first inning flyout, a 2-2 count in his 3rd inning single, a 7-pitch walk in the 5th, and then a 4-pitch fly out to right field in the 6th. The 0-2. Fastball, 92 this time, fouled off of that railing behind home plate, as we'll do the 0-2 all over again.
And another thing to point out, too, is that right center field gap. A lot of room out there between Drew Kitson and Whisker. And also, probably the deepest part of the park is that corner, kind of in right center field. The wall juts out from right as it kind of corners off into center field. There's a lot of room for Latona out there, and that's something else he could have picked up on when just looking. There's a huge gap for him to possibly drive and score Guzman.
As this 0-2, not a bad pitch at all. A fastball elevated out of the zone. You could get maybe a couple of guys in this lineup with that pitch, but you're not going to get Latona on something like that. He simply has just seen too many pitches to home plate, whether it's at the plate or as a catcher. Let's see what happens on the 1-2. Breaking ball lifted into right center field. Kitson has a beat on it, and he comes underneath it to make the catch. A fly out to right, then 2 flyouts to center. Get your 3 outs as Guzman works the 2-out walk, but the Unicorns don't get anything going in this inning. We head to the home half. Again, that man who made those 2 catches, Kitson, leading the way for Westside as they try to make a rally here in these late innings. We go to the home half of the 8th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We head to the bottom of inning number 8, and what a day it was for Tyler Hensley. This young man, best outing of the year, hands down. 106 pitches through 7 innings, allows just the 1 earned run in inning number 1, 4 hits allowed, a triple, and 3 singles. He threw just the 1 walk, which at the point of the season, that is probably the best number in that line.
Absolutely.
As Hensley had some issues with the control, but 7 strikeouts to just the 1 walk and the 1 earned run on 4 hits in 7 innings, his best outing of the year. And he turns things over to the former Western Illinois product, and that's Sam Cottingham Beard, as Drew Kitson gets things going. A 1-1 pitch, singled right over the pitcher's head, and that's exactly what you put a guy like Drew Kitson at the bottom of this lineup for. The opportunity late in the game, getting an extra opportunity at the leadoff position, if you will, and now we go officially back to the top of this order. Sonny Cortez, Ryan Dobson, Will Johnson, Jake Polshin. Good luck to Sam Cottingham Beard.
Sam Cottingham Beard, of course, taking over for Ty Hensley after his incredible start. A 4.86 ERA for Cottingham Beard over a 3-1 win and loss record, I should say. Over 20 appearances, 33 1/3 innings pitched for him. He's given up 33 hits, 18 earned runs, has 24 strikeouts, 2 walks, as opponents are hitting just 254 against him. And, of course, the second season now that Cottingham Beard is sporting that unicorn uniform.
As the 0-1 fouled off to our left quickly, Cortez is down 0-2. After his triple that started the night offensively for these Mammoths, he's grounded out to second and struck out on 7 pitches back in inning number 6. As Sam Cottingham Beard, he likes to work quick, and Cortez taking an extra second before he steps back in the box. Let's see exactly what Cottingham Beard elects to offer. Looked to be the fastball at 89. It missed just enough up and away, but not a bad pitch there on an 0-2 count. And for a guy like Sonny Cortez, one of the few that will not go after a pitch like that, as the 1-2. In there, called strike 3, changeup at 79 miles an hour, as Sonny Cortez fooled completely on that pitch. Second consecutive strikeout there for number 2, as he will most likely end his night 1 for 4 with that triple and run scored.
He started off the game well, but ever since then, not only him, but just the Mammoths lineup overall, not able to do anything. It's only been 2 innings in this ballgame where either team has scored. The 1 run for Westside in the first, and then a 3 spot that Utica put up in the 5th. But pitching has really dominated this game since pretty much Ben McKendall's been out. We haven't seen a whole lot of walks. Seeing a pretty good pitched ballgame here.
2 total walks for Westside after McKendall, 1 from Schmidt, and then again 1 there from our man who was just in the game last for Westside, that of course being John Murphy. And then in total, Hensley just the 1 walk through the 7 innings to Ethan Whisker in that 7th inning. So he had none through the first 6, but you get towards 100 pitches, you'll occasionally have some tiredness in that arm, as that 2-0 fastball at 88 gets enough of that outside black, and maybe Cottingham Beard took just enough off of it to focus on the control of the pitch. As Dobson might pick the stick, 1 for 3 on the night, but he did get that RBI ground out that drove in the only run of the game for Westside. Cottingham Beard with the deep breath. The leg kick is a little hit and run action there for the Woolly Mammoths. Does not end up in their favor, as Cortez definitely had second base on that jump. Kitson had that bag easily on that jump.
Oh, for sure.
So used to having Cortez on the base pass, of course, as Dobson does stick the bat out. It was definitely a strike on that 2-1 pitch. It was just a situation where he could not put the ball in play, as it would have been perfect if he hit it to where Bonneke is now at second base.
A large hole between first and second.
Man, Sam Cottingham Beard, he is painting a beautiful picture on the outside part of the strike zone. Second consecutive looking strikeout after the leadoff single there from Kitson. And at the moment, the Mammoths have to be a little dumbfounded. They're so used to scoring a high amount of runs in all of their games. The best record coming into play tonight on that 4-game win streak, 7-3 in their last 10. But it has been Ty Hensley's night, and Sam Cottingham Beard, a nice compliment to him here in this bottom of the 8th.
18 runs over their last 3 games. I take a look at that, but not much going here for the Westside order. They put up 8 hits against the Hoppers last night, but the long ball is what really played to their advantage. It was Javon Shelby with a 3-run shot, which was the difference maker in the game as they won 4-1 by just 3 runs, but no man has been able to come up with the long ball for Westside tonight. Will Johnson is a guy that could do it. He does have 2 on the season.
As that 1-0 pitch looked as if Johnson was a little angry with himself that he didn't swing after that pitch. And I actually think that that little fake steal from Kitson kind of froze him up at the batter's box. He looked a little discouraged that he didn't go after that pitch. And I wonder if that little miscue over on the base pass had something to do with it. But in the end, the 1-1 pitch misses as he now works a 2-1 count in his favor. But Sam Cottingham-Beard, he's not skipping a beat. He's right on the path as he's trying to get this outing. A pitch out and a good call there from the catcher Latona, but it ends up getting a piece of Kitson, who does get the stolen base. If Kitson had not gotten that good of a jump, that ball was perfectly thrown by Latona right where you want it. It just unfortunately hits the backside of Kitson, who slides in safely there. Yeah. So a runner in scoring position would be a big-time run in this home half of the 8th. If Will Johnson can deliver, as the 3-1 swung on and missed. So now the count is full, and if you're Sam Cottingham-Beard, you want to go after Johnson in this situation. You can't allow the walk, which would bring the game-winning run up to the plate. And, of course, for a guy like Jake Polshin, who's got a top 8 OPS and a top 4 batting average in the league, you want to go after Johnson here. Outside pitch, it misses, and just by a hair. That was a very close call, but again, our umpires tonight have been right on top of it, as that one, like a lot of pitches that Beard has thrown on that outside part of the plate to righties tonight that have been called for a strike, that one was just a little bit off.
Yep, it definitely was, as Latona kind of tried to bring it back in, but perhaps kind of a make-up call. I guess tough for an umpire to call 3 strikeouts in a row looking. But this should be a big chance for Polshin. First and second, coming off the single to left in his last at-bat. Chance for him to come up big for his team. Interestingly enough, with Westside in first place, despite their league leading average at 268, with runners in scoring position, the team is only hitting 250.
0-1 to Polshin. Fastball, changeup, at 82, missed just upstairs, as that was a good try there from Latona again. Evens the count up at 1-1. Polshin ready to swing as he cannot pull the trigger on that one. And I'll tell you what, that pitch definitely could have went either way, as Brian Kluppy, manager, having a little bit of argument there. But hey, you know what? That's why you get 3 tries, as Polshin down to his last strike. Sam Cottingham-Beard trying to get out of this jam with the tying run on the base paths. Won't do it here. Fouls this one off, does Polshin, as he rolls one over, but it stays foul.
And Polshin comes in hitting .315, but with runners in scoring position, 12 for 36, .333. So does hit a little bit better when he's got at least one man in scoring position, but a couple guys on here.
1-2 at 92, in on the hands. Polshin, though, fighting it off. Very good approach to the plate. Part of the reason why he's got such stealthy numbers. Remember, he had 2 singles with an RBI and a run scored in that game last night in that 4-1 victory. As Cottingham-Beard desperately trying to get out of this 8th. The double steal try could have been the hit and run as well, as you see a couple of unicorns coming in. And it's the newcomer over there at first, Jack Dennis, corralling the baseball and gets the unicorns out of the threat in the home half of the 8th. We go to the 9th. It'll be the man who made the catch, Dennis, leading the way as they try to keep that 3-1 lead, add some insurance onto it. We head to the 9th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. All right, hold on to your hats, everybody. We go to the final frame as it's Utica out in front 3-1 through the first 8 innings. Westside put up a run in the home half of the first, and then it was the 5th inning where these Corns put up a 3 spot on just 1 hit, if you will. They earned 4 walks out of the 9 batters that reached to the plate up in that 5th inning. It was the leadoff walk from Latona, a reach on an error from Eric Jones, a walk from Ashton Bardzell, a walk from Brian Benz, and then that 2 RBI single from Kyle Orloff. Just one of their 6 hits tonight that honestly was the difference maker. Is Jack Dennis, again, the newcomer coming to us from Tiffin, trying to make something happen. He's had a tough night at the plate. A strikeout, a ground out, a fly out, and a pop out. He's gotten out all different kind of ways that you can. As he fouls off the 2-1 pitch, it evens it up at 2-2. He's made a couple good defensive plays at first, but still looking for that first career knock here in the USPBL.
And Troy Whitty takes over for John Murphy here. Whitty, the right-hander out of Easton, Massachusetts, as Dennis does foul off the 2-2. He was with the Garden City Wind in the Pecos League, attended Tennessee Wesleyan University in 2018, had a 7.94 ERA in just 5 2/3 innings of work. Since joining the USPBL, a 5.84 ERA in 12 1/3. He does have only 5 strikeouts to 16 walks. And it looks like we're going to see our first full count there. That one missed well outside.
This is a big-time spot for both of these guys. Dennis looking to reach base safely for the first time tonight. Troy Whitty coming in relief there, of course, for John Murphy, trying to get his numbers where he'd like them to be. The payoff pitch misses down and away. Lead-off walks. They're never good. See if it leads to anything here for Utica in the top of the 9th as they try and add on some insurance.
Now, Whitty's definitely got an interesting release on his fastball. Not really over the top, kind of whips his arm in sort of a sidearm motion. And it looks like we are going to see a pinch runner here for Jack Dennis in his USPBL debut. Gets on base for the first time via the walk. Trying to catch a jersey number on that.
Taking a quick look through the binoculars for Utica. It honestly might be a new guy out there. Trying to take a quick look, but we'll get to that as soon as possible as Eric Jones looks at ball 1 up and in.
Jones on the night with 1 single, reached on an error in the 5th, also walked in the 3rd. Not a bad night with 3 reaches, but just 1 for 3.
And that is, in fact, Malik Blaze over there
Okay.
at the first base bag as Jones ends up swinging through the 1-0, evens it up. Malik Blaze so far this year, he's got just 3 starts. No tries on the base paths. He's 0 for 0. Nice pitch there from Troy Whitty. Going after the 3-hole hitter Eric Jones as if he's at the bottom of the lineup right after him with these fastballs. He's got him down quickly 1-2. Jones singled in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, reached on that error in that long 5th inning, but since then a ground out to shortstop back in the 6th. The 1-2 from Whitty misses low and away at 90 miles an hour, and it's such a wild delivery.
It really is.
To that plate. It's like a slingshot coming out of there. He kind of just holds it back, and then just fires.
Yep. And with that has to come a little bit of inconsistency, too. It's hard to kind of repeat that same whipping action every time.
This one lined into center field. Kitson ranging to his right with a nice little slide with the grab. Gets a big-time first out here in this top of the 9th. He stayed busy tonight out there in center field. Made 3 out of the last 4 outs.
And here comes my pick to stick, Ashton Bardzell. He did tally the single in the 7th. It was the ground ball right when Jake Barbie entered the game at third base that kind of hit him in the cheek. And actually, I'm wondering right now, that's not Jake Barbie over there at third. It looks like we do have a defensive change, and ooh, not a good sign there.
Bardzell gets that one right in the middle of the back. As you mentioned, the inaccuracy that could come with that kind of delivery to the plate, as after the leadoff walk. Now runners on base with the walk and the hit by pitch. And yes, I'm not even going to take a look, but I believe that's Webb Little over there at the hot corner now in defensively for Jake Barbie. I got to imagine it's more of a defensive replacement compared to taking Barbie out of the game because he stayed in after the line or after the grounder to the face. I feel like if it was bad enough, they would have taken him out right then and there because Barbie's not a guy who will let you take him out of a game unless it's something that is clearly enough to take him out.
Could just be some precautionary stuff. That's now the 4th hit batter in just the 12 1/3 innings of work for Whitty. He also has the 4 wild pitches and then 16 walks, like I mentioned, so walks over 1 batter per inning.
First pitch to Elliott misses away. Runner on second is Malik Blaze. Runner on first is Ashton Bardzell. Blaze does have some speed in scoring position as Elliott ends up looking at that pitch at 90 miles an hour inside. So he's quickly got himself into a good hitter's count as there is one arm getting loose in that bullpen for Westside just in case things get out of control in this inning as the 2-0 popped up. It's got enough to get out of play. Webb Little ranges as far as he can, but that one will get out in time for Elliott to stay alive. He's had a very tough night. 0 for 4 after going 2 for 5 in their last game. 2 flyouts to left to start the night, but since then a strikeout and a ground out into a double play. Only thing that could make it worse is if he did that again in this at-bat. He's got the opportunity to do it. The 2-1 from Whitty. In the dirt at 89, it misses, so on the verge of allowing these base runners all on your own. A walk, a hit by pitch, trying to avoid his second walk in this inning. As the Unicorns trying to add some insurance. Here up 3-1.
And double play ball might be kind of tough, too. The runner's not being held on, but it is not going to matter. Another walk issued, this time on a 3-1 count to Elliott, who will reach for the first time.
So going out there is Cluppy, manager Brian Cluppy. And as he's going out there to talk with Whitty, looks as if the day will be done for him. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll let you know who's coming in for Westside. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. right, big-time scenario for Brian Benz, the DH. A single and a walk alongside 2 strikeouts so far tonight. But world of opportunity as the day's done for Troy Whitty. 17 pitches with just, count them, 5 for strikes. Goes the third of an inning, gets that fly out to center off the bat of Eric Jones, but 2 walks and a hit by pitch have walked the bases loaded for the Unicorns as this one popped up. And, of course, got to mention out there now to pitch, Anthony Travato for the Westside Woolly Mammoths gets a big time out as Brian Benz can't come through to get some insurance recorded for these Unicorns, and that's a big time second out with the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for Westside coming up in the home half. They'll have some power between Williams and Whisker. And then I'm assuming it'll be Webb Little coming up in place for Barbian as well as Shelby.
Yep.
But here comes Kyle Orloff, the man of the night in his USPBL debut. He's reached base safely 3 out of 4 times.
Actually, we're going to have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Coley Curry.
Of course.
So a good debut for Orloff.
No doubt.
Definitely with 2 hits and 2 RBIs. But here comes Coley Curry, lefty on righty matchup with Travato, of course, the sidearmer out there out of Rollins College. Hasn't posted the best numbers since joining the USPBL. 5 innings of work, a 5.40 ERA. He's given up 3 earned runs. He has struck out 3 but walked 2. Opponents are hitting .263 against him.
So Coley standing in. Looks at the second pitch of the at-bat. Evens the count up. I like the call here. Orloff had a good day, but in terms of a guy who's got some rest and you got a guy who's obviously got some talent, Curry's been good as of late. Looks at the 1-1 breaking ball as Travato tried to enter the back door for the second consecutive time. Can't get it. As if I'm Curry, I'd be ready for a fastball here. The 2-1. And there it is. Inside corner, called strike 2. And now for Curry, he has been used to the zone tonight, being this his first plate appearance. But that's kind of where Sean Howard's been calling it all night. So the consistency has been there. And with that call, I'd be shocked to see anything other than a fastball inside. And instead, it's right down the middle. Travato leaves it over the plate. And coming in to score with ease is Blaze, as well as Bardzell. And over there at third base, of course, is Elliott. He almost gets pulled off the bag with the tag. But both Dennis and Bardzell come in to score for some insurance here for the Corns. As Elliott gets over to third. And in that 7th spot tonight for Utica, boys are coming through. 3 total singles between Orloff and now Curry as 2 runs come in to score.
Yeah, obviously a great call there by Skip Essien as Coley Curry mashes right-handers, hitting .311 against him. He knew the numbers coming in for that at-bat. A great call for the pinch hit, and now it's going to be Kyle Bonneke with first and third and 2 down. But the Unicorns finally strike for the first time since the 5th.
2 big innings for them tonight. That's all they've needed. This will be the 7th batter to reach the plate in this frame as Bonneke well out in front of that 0-1 pitch, quickly down 0-2. And if I'm Travato here, throw something off speed. You've seen Bonneke well out in front of these pitches. Runners on the corners, Unicorns adding 2 insurance runs in this inning, but if you're Bonneke, you're trying to add on some more, as again, out in front, 3 straight. They're against the side armor, 3/4, if you will. Number 51, Anthony Travato.
Travato has now faced 6 left-handers, and they're now hitting .500 against him, 3 for 6.
So this one taken for a decent ride down the right field line. It's got enough, though, to go foul as it stays in the diamond. But Bonneke with 4 straight strikes thrown to him. He's fouled off a couple of them.
He's hit the ball hard in a couple of at-bats today, too. Deep fly out into right that almost had the home run distance on it and also lined out to center field in the 8th. The only time he's reached was on the walk in the 5th. On the 3-1 count, which was that big 4-walk inning for them in which they put up that 3 spot, and they had just 1 hit, which is really interesting. It was the control in that inning that really hindered the Westside staff.
Meanwhile, 4 straight foul balls off the bat of Kyle Bonneke. And these Unicorns will be in action again tomorrow as the home team this time around. They'll take on those Eastside Diamond Hoppers as a part of our Sunday Fun Day. Princesses and Pirates will be in the house as Travato paints one on the outside part of the plate, but that's not where Sean Howard's been calling him tonight. He's had a lot of good calls there inside to these hitters, and that's where he's kept it. Good eye from Bonneke on another scenario where he's down with 2 strikes and he looks at a close pitch as this 1-2 misses upstairs, evens it up, and Bonneke with a lengthy at-bat. Taking a quick look, already 7 pitches in this battle against Travato.
And he's another guy that likes to put the ball in play. He makes contact very frequently.
And there it goes again. This one should have enough to get out of the field of play and into the grandstands, and it does. Goes into about the second row, but 5 foul balls in this battle for Bonneke.
Bonneke definitely likes hitting with runners on. 283 with runners on base and just 145 with the bases empty, so likes the spotlight situations like these.
Pitch misses inside or a little bit low even, and how about the battle here from Bonneke? Runners on first and third, and with it being a full count, you know Coley Curry over there on the first base bag is going to go. Meanwhile, Dan Elliott at third, he's just waiting for his buddy Bonneke to drive in a run. The payoff pitch. Ground ball, right side, a one-hopper over there to Sonny Cortez, and he gets the put out, but not before Utica can get 2 more across the board. As Whitty has a tough night, allows the 2 runs on the 2 walks and the hit by pitch, but Coley Curry driving in 2 with 1 swing of the bat. We go to the home half of the 9th, 5-6-7, 2 up for Westside. And the Novi, Michigan native, Clenny, coming in to pitch and get another save. Excuse me, not anymore with the lead, but hey, you'll take it with the 5-1 lead here in the 9th. We go to the break. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We go to the bottom of the 9th, Utica, with 2 more insurance runs in this top of the inning, courtesy of Coley Curry's 2 RBI single. Now they lead it 5-1. Nolan Clenny coming in to relieve Sam Cottingham-Beard. Cottingham-Beard just allowed the walk to Johnson, had 2 strikeouts in that 8th inning, did allow the leadoff single to Drew Kitson, but ends up getting what he likes out of it. No runs in the 8th. That's what you get put out there for. And, yes, the Novi, Michigan native Nolan Clenny. Out there is Coley Curry, the man who entered this game with that big-time insurance hit in the top of the frame comes up clutch with the rundown of the line out there as the Mammoths were trying to get their leadoff man on. Good piece of contact there from Williams, just right at Coley Curry.
And we do have to mention the other defensive changes as well, as it looks like that's Dan Elliott still in center field, but it's Colin Rideout over there at first replacing Dennis. So a couple defensive changes as we saw some pinch hitters last inning. But Clenny comes in with his .395 ERA facing off here against Ethan Whisker, who's had a tough night, 0 for 2 with the walk. A .395, like I mentioned, over 27 and 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 25 hits, 12 earned runs, and good strikeout numbers to walk numbers, 24 Ks to just 11 walks. And he put up similar type numbers when he pitched at North Carolina State University. In 2019, 2.25 ERA, 13 strikeouts to 9 walks over 12 innings, and over a larger sample size in 2018, 44 innings, 54 strikeouts to 26 walks. So some really good strikeout numbers in college, and he's fit in nicely to this Utica back end of the bullpen.
2-2 from Clenny, swung on and missed. That breaking ball devastating at 80 miles an hour. And I'll tell you what, a non-save situation for Nolan Clenny, but for the guy who leads the team with 3 saves, this is exactly who you want out there. Not
That's
allow
right.
Westside to think they have any opportunity to come back into this game. And here comes Webb Little with his first plate appearance on the night as he enters this game at that third base position, who entered for Barbie, who entered for Shelby, as he looks at ball 1 to begin this at-bat.
Little attended Ithaca College in 2019. Really some impressive numbers. .362 batting average. He had 6 home runs and only 12 strikeouts over those 37 games, 138 total at-bats. But not much success so far in the USPBL. Just the 1 hit thus far. Taking a look at how many at-bats Little has. He's 1 for just his first 26.
And this one almost eats up Bonneke over there at second base, but he makes the play on the tough hop. A line out to left, a swing and miss strikeout, and a ground out to second base. Retire the Mammoths in order here in the bottom of the 9th. But I'll tell you what, it was the Ty Hensley show, who we just found out from our Vice President of Marketing and PR, Scott McDonald. Not only is this the longest outing of the year for Ty Hensley as a Utica Unicorn in his pro career, but that is the longest outing that Ty Hensley has had in a start since high school, ladies and gentlemen. So obviously a guy who was drafted out of high school has his best outing as a professional baseball player here tonight. Again, his final numbers, 106 pitches through 7 innings, his third 100-pitch-plus outing of the year against the Westside Woolly Mammoths, in fact, as he gives up the 4 hits, just the 1 earned run back in the first inning, as it also allowed the 1 walk, but that was in the last inning that he had on the night with 1 out in the 7th, but he struck out a season-high 7 here for Utica for himself, and the Unicorns moved to 19-17 on the year. Westside dropping to 20-17, which puts Utica just a half game back now of that first place position. Leo, your thoughts on a pretty good game highlighted there by the starter Ty Hensley?
You can't say enough about that start from Hensley. Obviously, the 7 innings of 1-run baseball, one of the best starts we've seen from any starting pitcher at Jimmy John's Field this season. And Utica came up when they needed to. It was a 2 RBI single from Kyle Orloff in his USPBL debut. The best hitter in this game, as he finished his night 2 for 4 with 2 singles and 2 RBIs. He was the offensive spark in the 5th, which was that 3-run inning for Utica. And the only other inning they scored was the 9th, where they put up 2 big insurance runs thanks to the 2 RBI pinch hit single from Coley Curry. So Orloff and Curry getting it done in the 7th spot made it a little bit easier out there for Nolan Clenny to close down the game, as Ty Hensley, of course, announced as the USPBL player of the game, shutting down the best offense in the league. All they could get going was the first 2 batters, Cortez with the triple, Dobson with the ground out. The only run that the best lineup in all the USPBL could do against Utica tonight. It was just those first couple batters, but Got to give a lot of props to Hensley, Cottingham, Beard, and Clenny for the way that they pitched against Westside.
Yeah, that'll do it for Saturday night. 70s night at the ballpark. If you're still around listening in the bathrooms or the suites, there is a post-game dance party here as a part of 70s night if you want to head on down onto the field for some post-game activities. But, again, Unicorns taking down the best offense in the league, Ty Hensley, former first-round draft pick of the New York Yankees, with his longest start of his career, best outing of his life, and we're hoping to see an even better one next time around for him, but it'll be tough to beat. Unicorns take down the Mammoths by a final score of 5-1. Unicorns will be in action again tomorrow as they'll take on the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. I will not be on the call, but my buddy Leo Ortel will in fact be as a part of Sunday Fun Day at the ballpark. But again, for Leo Ortel, my name is Rich Borland. Utica out in front of the Mammoths, 5-1 in this Saturday night. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. You stay classy, Utica.